All right, it's 6 o'clock. I want to welcome all of you to our meeting tonight. All of our aldermen are present. At this time, I would like to recognize Pastor Brooks, who is taking time out of his schedule. He's very busy now to lead us in prayer. And then Alderman Powell will lead us in pledge of allegiance. So if you please stand.
May we all bow. Gracious Heavenly Father, truly once again we come before thee with a bowed head and humble heart, thanking you for another day's journey. Father, we thank you for this blessed opportunity to be able to come together as city leaders and community to handle the business that need to be handled. We pray that your presence, oh Heavenly Father, will be felt here during these proceedings. And Father, we pray for everybody that's here under the sound of our voice, that you will bless them with health, finance, whatever their heart desire may be. We just ask it in the name of Jesus. And Father, we just want to remember that Jesus did something for us that we couldn't do for ourselves, and that he saved us from our own sins. So we just thank you for Jesus, and we thank you for this opportunity to be able to pray, just to say thank you. In the precious name of Jesus, we do ask. Amen.
Amen. And if you notice, we have moved our flags over here, so if you will, attention, salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, please be seated. Thank you, Pastor. All right, Chief Hale, item 1A, you have a new police officer to administer the oath.
Yeah, we're going to get.
Yes, sir.
This is Samuel Finch.
All right, Mr. Fincher, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Samuel Fincher,
I, Samuel Fincher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully support
that I will faithfully support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Mississippi,
and the Constitution of the State of Mississippi,
and obey the laws thereof,
and obey the laws thereof,
that I am not disqualified
that I am not disqualified
from holding the position
to holding the position
of police officer
of police officer
for the city of Flagstaff,
for the city of Flagstaff,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duty of police officer
for the city of Flagstaff
for the city of Flagstaff
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Come on, you get whatever you want.
I'm not the boss.
Got it.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I'd like to recognize Miss Rhonda Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor Morrison, and thank you, aldermen and women, and I especially would like to thank Alderwoman Maya Bates. I am a candidate for the Chancery Court position. It's District 11 and specifically Sub-District 2, which serves Madison and Lee counties. I've been a resident of Madison County for nearly 40 years, and I've practiced law for that same amount of time. I'm just grateful to be here and have the opportunity to be present, and I look forward to seeing you all throughout the summer on my campaign trail. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Chief Hale, you want to handle item 3C?
Yeah, right here I got Madison and Rankin County District Attorney Bubba Bramlett.
Two Bubbas in the same room.
Yeah. He has done a lot for us since the police department actually started, but the most recent one was a pretty big deal for us. Tonight before the board, we're gonna be asking to get what's called Motorola, Command Central. So, it's 51,000 over 5 years, and he so willingly and nicely volunteered to pay for the first year, which is $10,200. So he donated a check to us, $10,200, and we want to thank you for that and recognize him for that. So, thank you.
First of all, y'all are an easy group to help. We've been there since day one, and everything's just been, everything we do dealing with the city loves that, first class all the way around. And our office really appreciates it. We don't have a lot of cities in Madison County, but the ones we've got do a really good job. And my office and y'all making law enforcement a top priority, and this equipment that they've asked for is necessary. You know how fast everything's changing now, and the technology and everything. And this is state of the art, but it's really necessary. Things move really fast, and the crimes we deal with are really big crimes. And my priority, as well as yours, is to make love staff. Just want to save the cities in the state of Mississippi, and it is, and it's going to continue to be that way. And in the future, anything you need from us, please feel free to let us know.
I know I probably will feel pretty safe speaking for the board. I know that we really appreciate your role in enforcement, and helping us make the community safe. We know when something bad happens up here and they've got to face you and your guys and your ladies at the office, it's a bad day for them. So that makes this community safer. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, Ms. Pickett, HR, is going to recognize our city employee of the quarter. That was voted on by all of our employees.
So this presentation is actually an inaugural award. We sent out a survey to all of our city employees to see who they thought should be employee of the first quarter. And with the majority of the votes, it was Assistant Chief Jeremy Slater. That's what you get for trying to surprise somebody.
Yeah, he may have walked out with the DA.
And thanks to Ms. Elizabeth Tyler and the Gluckstadt Business Alliance, we have a $25 Southern gift card. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, now we are at item 3E. Is Miss Amy Robinson? Miss Amy Robinson?
Amy Robinson.
Amy.
Amy? You Miss Robinson?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're not in trouble.
I'm right here.
I just want to let everybody know that Ms. Robinson is the coach of the Germantown Middle School robotics team. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And Germantown High School.
And Germantown High School robotics team. And you want to speak on what your students have done here?
Absolutely. We have grown our program. I'm gonna come over here so they can kind of come out all the way in. I have been at Germantown Middle School in the robotics program for 3 years. We've doubled in size, and we have over about 190 students in the program from Germantown Middle to Germantown High School. And I have been privileged to take some team to Worlds every year for the past 3 years. Although the high school team here are all seniors and they have gone all 4 years of their high school career. So a lot of it is not anything I've done. It is everything that the students have done. I just try to put resources in their hands. The middle school team here were so placed at state last year. They went to state as 6th graders, and they are going to represent Germantown Middle School as well. So we are super proud of all of our teams. And for the efforts that many of our local businesses have supported with us. We do a lot of fundraising. These are very expensive robots, but they can turn them on and introduce them. I let them introduce themselves and then they can kind of turn them around, turn them on and do a little test drive if you'd like. These are the Goofy Goobers. They are all 8th graders.
My name is Preston Burke. I'm an 8th grader and I've been doing robotics for 3 years.
I'm Fred Estes, and I've been doing robotics for 3 years.
My name is Ben Humphries, and I've been doing robotics for 3 years.
And this is their robots, Rufus, Princess Rufus and then they have multiple awards that they brought with them. The high schoolers have multiple awards from the years as well. Before they turn them on, because they do get a little loud, this year, this team is called the Biggie Bots, and I'll let them introduce themselves as well.
My name is Emiliano Valdez. I'm a senior, and this is my 6th year doing robotics.
I'm Skylar Thomas. I'm also a senior and I've been doing robotics since elementary school.
My name is Crosby Petro, and this is my 9th year doing robotics.
My name is Eric Haddon, and this is my 4th year doing robotics.
My name is Ethan Knight, and this is my 9th year doing robotics.
I want to turn them off for a second. So this year's game includes blocks that they have to pick up, red and blue. So they compete with a 15-second code. So they code their robots to do a certain task. And then the next minute, 45 seconds, they have to work together with another team to score more points than the other team. If it's not BattleBots, they don't tear each other up. Although the students wish it was BattleBots. They want BattleBots and a water game, and those are the 2 things they'll never get. So these components have motors. They also have canisters of air that they use pneumatics with. They're very sophisticated. The students tell me more things than I know every single day. They do a lot of, it's all student driven. And so these students built, coded, they've got over 100 pages in an engineering design notebook that works through their process. They are set up and ready to go to college and study engineering and walk straight into the workforce. They're very impressive, all of them. Jennifer Richardson from Madison County Schools is also with us, and we could not do this without her. She helped set up all of our tournaments and then lots of support.
So I'm the robotics coordinator for Madison County Schools, and so we are extremely proud. We have 129 teams in Madison County, and so there's over 30,000 teams in the world, and these 2 teams are going to represent Mississippi at the VEX Robotics World Championship next week, I'm sorry. So they are super excited. We are super proud of them. They've been doing it again since elementary school, and they see the passion in it. And so most of them are going into a field that relates to what they've been doing, as well as they've been giving back to their community. So all of these kids have been giving back to the middle school and elementary kids for years now. So we're really extremely proud of them, and thank you very much for recognizing them.
Thank you so much for having us.
So just before you guys leave, before our board here tonight is a resolution recognizing the Germantown High School and Germantown Middle School robotics teams for qualifying for the 2026 VEX Robotics World Championship. And I will read the concluding paragraph. The City of Gluckstadt wishes to recognize and congratulate the Germantown High School and the Germantown Middle School robotics teams for their accomplishments at the 2026 Mississippi VEX Robotics State Championship and for their qualification to compete at the 2026 VEX Robotics World Championship. These students have demonstrated exceptional skills in engineering, programming, teamwork, and problem solving, and the City of Gluckstadt wishes them the best of luck in further showcasing their talents at the World Championship. With that said, is there a motion for adopting this resolution?
Motion.
Ms. Bates made the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, congratulations.
Sure, absolutely. Real quick.
If you want to put those robots up here.
How long does it take to build one?
Oh,
you're months.
well, these robots, it's taken all year. This is probably the second or third iteration for each team. There's a lot of taking apart and putting them back together when they're unhappy with how it works. I tell you what, I'm gonna, yeah, let me come on that end and Ms. Richardson can come on this end.
All right, ready, y'all? Like this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank y'all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we are on item 3 now. Dr. Sheila.
Good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you, Mayor Morrison and the board. So glad to be working with y'all again this year. I want to ask first of all for all my board members to say if they are here. It's all right, we'll come the next time. But I do want to let you all know that we will have a health fair coming up along with Reese. She's doing the 5K and we're doing a health fair along with her. So I appreciate y'all's participation. It's gonna be May 2nd. And I think they'll be starting at 6 a.m. that morning. And we already have over 20 vendors already. And so I've already talked to Callaway, and I believe we're gonna have some fresh produce to sell.
Oh, there they are.
Come on, it's our time. I like y'all to introduce yourselves, where you work and what you do.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kara Owen. I live here in Gluckstadt. I work from Fox Rehab and I'm an occupational therapist. Hey, y'all. I'm Christy Everett. I live in Gluckstadt as well, and I work at Flow and Glow and MS Express Health and GI Associates.
Hey, y'all, I'm Sally Norman, and I work at Gluckstadt Pharmacy, so I might as well live here in Gluckstadt, but maybe one day. And we really appreciate being able to provide for this community.
I'm Jeremy Hudson. I work at MS Express Health. I'm a nurse practitioner. I live around the side.
You know, he's a top nurse practitioner here in Madison County. So he's a very good, I have good workers here. So glad to have people to help. We have a lot to do and they're so excited. And I'm thankful to have Lindsay Kellum, she's keeping us all straight on everything. But tonight, I just want y'all to know we have a resolution. April's resolution talks about maternal mortality here in Mississippi. And I have two special guests. Come on up. Dr. Cardia. Come on up. And LaJune Johnson, who is a licensed clinical social worker who works with maternal moms. So this is something that was an eye-opener to me because I went to one of the health fairs. And so I asked these two ladies to come and do a very short presentation so you all could have an awareness about it. And so glad we do have an April resolution. I'm sure the mayor's gonna be talking about it. So just give y'all them your undivided attention. Like it's very short, but it's something that we all need to know about. Thank y'all.
Well,
Thank y'all so much. Dr. Collier and I are so excited and grateful to be here with you all today to hold space. A special thank you to our mayor and the Board of Aldermen for this opportunity today. And especially a special thank you to Dr. Stan for extending this wonderful invitation. I'll let Dr. Collier share a little bit about herself. She's amazing.
Well, thank you. I was invited by June. I'm a OBGYN. I've been originally from New Jersey, so forgive the accent, but I've been in Mississippi for over 13 years. I practiced 10 years at UMC, then I opened my own practice in Ridgeland not too long ago, so I'm a neighbor. I was for about over 10 years the director of the Maternal Mortality Review Committee for the state of Mississippi and the Mississippi Perinatal Quality Collaborative. So in addition to being an OBGYN, I studied maternal and infant health as a master's of public health, and I did additional fellowship training in health services research and public health. So for a very long time, I cared about the whole state of Mississippi. I reviewed hundreds of maternal deaths in the state of Mississippi and personal stories. And with June, we did family interviews to really get to the root of what were the causes of maternal mortality, and many of them are in fact preventable, and there are things we could do about them, and awareness is a big part of it. And even just listening to moms and everything we do, from how we even think about the way we design our cities and how much EMS is available. I've seen maternal deaths because ambulances were not available. I've seen maternal deaths because hospitals have closed. I've seen maternal deaths because just environmental causes and increased rates of cancer in certain parts of our state. So it's not just pregnancy related, it goes down to the lives we live from the time we're born to the time we die in our families. So the way we build our communities really makes a difference for maternal health from the time our children are born and all the way through. So what you do is in the city council really does make a difference. So we really appreciate your time to listen to this and understand that how we build our neighborhoods and communities, even having grocery stores, right? I talk to my pregnant women all the time about healthy food, and we've got communities that do not have that, and their local gas station is where they get their food from. And so even having an exit on the highway so you can get faster to your doctor's appointment makes a huge difference. So these are things that are not far removed from how we make Mississippi a safer state for maternal mortality. So yeah.
Well, I'm absolutely, and Dr. Collier was so modest. Like, she really has done so much for the state of Mississippi to advance the needle forward on maternal health. I'm LaJune. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I actually met Dr. Collier through our work on the Maternal Mortality Review Committee. I served for 3 years. I've done some work with the Louisiana Pregnancy Associated Mortality Review, their committee. I'm also a trainer for the CDC with their Erase Maternal Mortality Initiative. Something that comes to mind. Well, I know I'm in a room full of people who already care deeply about the care of moms. But if we kind of like zoom out for a moment, we already know that there's not a path forward where we are able to grow and thrive our communities without taking the consideration of a mother's well-being into consideration. And so for many of you in this room, I'm sure most of you already know that maternal mortality is a pressing issue in our state. We're not number one in maternal mortality, but we're up there. And unfortunately, we are number one in infant mortality. As many of you know, in August, our state health department declared a public emergency crisis due to our high infant mortality rate. And it's been that way for several years, unfortunately. So we know right now these conversations, holding these kinds of spaces where we can collectively talk and learn and raise awareness is the pathway forward to how we improve outcomes and take care of our moms.
I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah, well, just lightly touching on that, a lot of times I think we have a misconception that when a maternal death occurs, that it's due to medical related causes. But the truth of the matter is there are a lot of non-medical drivers that influence a pregnancy or whether or not a pregnancy is able to thrive. Piggybacking off of what Dr. Collier said, access to transportation, unstable housing, poverty, food insecurity. These are all things that can greatly influence the health of our moms and our babies. And, I wanted to reference that about 70% of Mississippi's rural hospitals are not equipped to deliver babies. that's very staggering. And so if you are a mama who lives in a rural area, you have a pregnancy complication, and you have to travel an hour away to get care or treatment, or if a paramedic has to come to you an hour out, that time lapse can be the deciding factor between life and death.
Just quickly, these are some of the top causes. This was from 2021, so that outlier for infection was COVID. It actually did kill a lot of pregnant people here in Mississippi. It was quite traumatic for obstetric providers that year because we never quite saw that many that fast. Every other year, it tends to be cardiovascular conditions, and the mental health conditions includes overdose, which is usually what's categorized as mental health. So nationwide, that had become a leading driver. So clearly, substance use disorder. Mississippi, I mean, thankfully, is not led in that area, but mental health disorders, substance use and suicide is leading in the nation. I like cardiovascular. Now, we look at Mississippi, that's where we start to really pull up. You see hypertensive heart disease, severe preeclampsia, high blood pressure, and that very much starts in young ages. You know, do people have access to healthcare, primary care, healthy food, healthy diet, and are we addressing it not just immediately postpartum, but through that whole year postpartum, because the cardiovascular risks that they get extend that full year and on to the rest of their lives. So when they go back to their communities after they're done seeing their OB, they have to have a primary care doctor that knows how to continue that medical care forward, because they're not just having babies and then going to the pediatrician. I've seen many moms who they were on their blood pressure medicine and they stopped seeing their doctor, and 3 months later they die of a heart attack, and which is unfortunately very common cause in Mississippi for some of our deaths. So that gets down to public health and healthy communities. So we do see disparities. This is Black Maternal Health Week. Because Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die of pregnancy-related causes. A lot of that gets into a number of reasons, but we do see disparities across health access and care in pretty much every area. And so it's an area for awareness. And specifically with Mississippi, we do see those disparities persist here as well. And the number that are preventable, and the preventability comes down to things as much as people call for help and they can't get it, all the way to they could have been on the easy blood pressure medicine and didn't have access to it. So there's just simple things we really can do, and awareness everywhere really makes a difference. Obesity is a big contributing factor here. So again, communities that are healthy, we see less of it. It's gonna get to 10 minutes. Timing of pregnancy-related deaths is also really important. 28% occur while the person is pregnant, 32% within that first 42 days postpartum, and then another 38 out to a whole year. So it does not end immediately after baby. Those are still considered pregnancy-related causes. So a lot of times we see, you do a little postpartum visit, and then they don't see their doctor for a year. We were seeing a lot of deaths happen in that gap. So making sure women bridge to a primary care doctor. We saw some nurse practitioners in the audience. It's really important that we hand those off and have that local care. You don't need it. You need an OB, and I would love an OB in every county, in every community, but even having any medical provider who's aware of these risks can really save lives and keep people, healthy beyond pregnancy. So again, those things preventable. And yeah, Mississippi has a number of activities right now. The State Maternal Mortality Review Committee, there's quality collaboratives where every hospital in the state that does obstetric care is working on standardized programs to prevent the most serious forms of maternal death. So most of our hospitals have protocols around high blood pressure, hypertension, hemorrhage, heart disease. So we're trying to get routine, systematic processes across hospitals. But once a woman leaves the hospital, what happens in the community becomes like open, and everything is different, and we need to get more standardization across the care once they go home. So that's where it's really great that WebStat's recognizing this and thinking about how it can connect across the whole neighborhood.
Yeah. And so because I know that we are pressed for time, I won't spend a lot of time on that. I'll kind of jump forward and talking about how can we support our mamas. It's not.
I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. So go to how to support mothers. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So yes. So everyone can play a role in supporting a mother's health, right? We all can take a part in that. We can show up consistently, check in with our moms. If you know a mama that is expecting or postpartum, check in often. Don't wait to be asked, for help. Offer that help. You can also be very intentional about the support that you provide, bringing a meal, offering to watch the baby, running errands, listening without judgment, just letting folks vent and talk is always very therapeutic. Also reducing isolation. Several slides back, y'all saw that mental health conditions are a contributing factor for a lot of our maternal deaths in our state. I believe it's in Mississippi among the leading causes of, or leading contributing factors of our pregnancy-related deaths. So, reducing isolation, inviting mom out, visiting her at home. Also learning the warning signs of postpartum depression. About 1 in 5 mothers will experience a postpartum depression, anxiety, or some type of mood-related disorder related to her pregnancy. That's a lot. That's a lot of mamas who are, dealing with the after effects of pregnancy. So those are a few things that you all can do. We all can do. National and local resources. There are a lot of amazing things. I know we started off very heavy. It can feel very heavy, like digesting and absorbing all of this. But we have to have these conversations. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. And so there is purpose behind us having these conversations. But I do want you to know that there are so many amazing, wonderful organizations doing wonderful work in the state of Mississippi to support our moms. And a few of them are here on this screen. Slide. And so that's it. If y'all have questions or comments, we really appreciate y'all allowing us the space to share with you today, just to uplift and champion moms. We consider you allies in maternal health, and maternal mortality falls under that umbrella.
Ms. Bates, you want to present your?
Yes, so I know a lot of the statistics have already been given, so I'm going to skip down to the bottom of this resolution. And it states, wherefore be it hereby resolved by the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Gluckstadt, Mississippi as follows. The city of Gluckstadt declares April 2026 as Mississippi Maternity Mortality Month and affirms our commitment to raising public awareness about maternal mortality, to encouraging our local community to take action to reduce adverse maternal health outcomes and improve maternal safety, and to ensure respectful and equitable maternity practices. So resolved this day. And Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept this resolution as written.
All right, Ms. Bates made a motion to adopt the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Taylor. Yes, sir. Item 3I. Public Works. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped 3H.
Okay, so tonight we are recognizing the vital role of court clerks and what they do, and they play in their role in our justice system and help running it smoothly. Their dedication, attention to detail, commitment to accuracy, support our judges, attorneys, community every single day. They are truly the backbone of our courts. So we also acknowledge that the governor of Mississippi has proclaimed the first Wednesday in May of 2026 as Mississippi Court Clerks Day. We especially want to recognize Stephanie Burton, Lauren Noy for their service, and I'd also like to recognize Catherine for her contributions to the municipal clerk's office. We're grateful for all you do and proud to honor them with this resolution. The result of this day, Mayor, I make a motion to set the resolution for the first Wednesday in May to be Court Clerks Day.
All right, Ms. Campbell has made a motion to adopt the resolution recognizing the first Wednesday in May as Mississippi Court Clerks Day. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any Any opposed? Thank you, guys. I know how much you love being recognized. Y'all really deserve it. We really appreciate all you do.
Thank y'all for all you do.
Thank you. You can't leave yet. Yeah, I remember when we were getting our municipal court going, had a lot of people in the room. They had a lot of ideas about how to get a court set up. I'll never forget, Ms. Burton basically looked at me and said, if y'all will just let me do it, I'll take care of it. And she did, and she's done a fantastic job, and so has Laura and Kevin. So thank y'all very much for all of that. All right, now we'll go to Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Mayor. I can divert for just 1 second and correct a slight that today is National Lawyer Day, I believe, and so
it's National Be Nice to Lawyers.
Be Nice to Lawyers. Lindsay Kelly decided not to recognize you guys. I thought that I would do that. So thank you for all your hard work.
We're going to address that in
but anyway, I'm here to recognize some unsung heroes that we speed past every day on the side of the road. And these are our public works officials. And I'll skip to the bottom as well. The city of Gluckstadt declares the week of May 17th, 2026, May 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week for the city of Gluckstadt, Mississippi, and calls upon its residents to recognize and acknowledge our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. And this is Chris Buckner, who other cities are trying to steal from us, and he does a great job for us. So if y'all would all slow down when you go past the code, we'd appreciate it.
You got any of you guys here, Chris?
It's just me.
Well,
It's hard to get them to come.
Make a motion that we accept this.
All right, Alderman Taylor made a motion to adopt the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for all you do, sir. Be nice to lawyer.
I'm looking for my Be Nice to Lawyer Day resolution. I don't see it.
I know. She doesn't care about it.
All right, item 3J, you want to handle that?
This is just to let the public know that we have a GMS Maverick Stampede 5K coming up on April 25th. So if you'd like to sign up, all that information is on our website.
And item 3K.
And lastly, we have German Fest sponsorships open right now through the end of June. And we're looking for some great sponsors and businesses that want to be a part of this wonderful tradition that we're bringing back next year. So if you want any additional information, you're welcome to contact the city clerk's office.
All right, moving to the consent agenda, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion, is there a second? Ms. Campbell? Campbell seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our monthly budget reports and bank reconciliations are FYI matters. Are there any questions? If not, we'll go to item 5C, which is a proposed budget amendment. There is a resolution amending the budget. I believe it's self-explanatory. Ms. Kellum, do you want to maybe summarize?
My memo summarizes it a good bit. We are having to bring in the grant money for the outdoor stewardship fund for the park. So that was unanticipated revenue that has to come into the budget, and also, the expenditures have to go out. As well as some stuff for PD, and we got a donation from Bubba Brainwood that was spoken about earlier. We have to bring that revenue in too. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask.
All right, absent questions, which we'll certainly take if anybody has them, but absent questions, is there a motion to adopt a resolution amending the budget?
Motion.
All right, Ms. Campbell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 6A, Mr. Powell.
Yes, sir. So we've had, at our last board meeting, come up with ad valorem exemptions. It was on actual ad valorem and not just Freeport, which we discussed. And, just with me not knowing everything that I needed to know, I had asked, first to table it and then set up a meeting with, officials, people from the county, with Makita and then with, the city as well. And I think what I gathered from the meeting was that, we would like to try to put together with Makita, with the county to have one policy that's adopted, that the county would adopt, that the city would adopt, because we're in Madison County, we're about the only city that really has industrial businesses, versus like Rougeland, Madison. And then so I know Mr. Joey was up to a discussion for us to possibly raise the I believe it's like $400,000 exemption, maybe $750. But anyway, I want to have some discussion on that, and I would like for us to try to put our heads together with Makita, with the county, to come up with just one policy that we can adopt, the county can adopt, and move forward with it. I know the ladies from from the tax collector's office, pretty much without saying it, said we were creating a lot of headaches because we were doing 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, and the county is doing 10 years. And after discussing it with them, it kind of made sense, on some of that. So I know Alderman Taylor was there. I don't know if you want to add anything with it.
Any other
As far as
No,
as far as that part of it.
no.
So,
Anybody else? Any other discussion?
or do you want to add anything from?
Well, I guess all I would add is that we have, in our materials here, Madison County's ad valorem tax exemption policy. Are you proposing that we adopt this or something similar?
I think that we should, I don't know if we need to have another meeting and just sit down with those folks and, with the county, with Makita, and take this policy, let our folks look at it, make sure it meets, like I said, I would definitely like to see the amount raised. I know, Mr. Joey said, he put the $750 number out there, $750,000.
What amount? What part of it?
I'll get all that together. I'll try to have for our next board meeting, an actual proposal that we can look at adopting, that the county would be good with, that they can adopt, that we can adopt. And I'll just take that on and I'll coordinate with you and,
Okay.
or since Alderman Taylor was there, maybe him as well.
And if any of you have any particular input that you want to give to send to us, or at least to Alderman Powell, because he looks like he's going to be working up this for us next week, be sure and get that to you. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, item 6B.
Yes, sir. This is a request from Leaderway for an ad valorem exemption. It's in your packet. Legal has been briefed on this as well, and the upcoming request for exemption. This appears to be a new entity that is a subsidiary of the Stanwa. So that for your consideration, they're requesting an exemption.
This would be, and the next one would be the type of exemption that would be addressed in the policy that we just discussed.
This is Freeport.
Oh, this is, okay. And the
Legal
next,
may be able to speak a little further to this.
okay.
Zach's done some research on it.
Yeah, so I think there's two different ad valorem tax exemptions you can get, one for new industry or when you expand a current industry. And those can be for 10 years, up to 10 years. You can grant them in incremental periods of from 1 year, but not to exceed 10 years. And then the Freeport, as you all are aware, is when stuff is just shortly stored in a facility and then it transition in. transitioning out of the state. But similarly, those Freeport exemptions can be for an indefinite period of time unless the board, specifically states, for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, however long, they just don't have the 10-year cap that a new industry would have.
Okay, so Leaderway has made an application for a 10-year Freeport exemption.
Correct.
Right, any discussion?
Do they have a privilege license yet? So they're not really legal to do business in Gillette?
I had been in contact with one of them, who said they were gonna get back. Or it's a person who works for San Juan. Who is in court.
Well, say we get back to them later too.
All right, sounds like Mr. Taylor has made a motion to table 6B. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, item 6C.
This one is from Howard Automotive. It's not. Grant application. And they've also requested a 10-year.
I'm looking at their application, it says 9 years.
Scroll down.
This is also a Freeport.
Yes.
All right, any questions or discussions? Do they have a privilege license?
Pretty sure they do.
All right,
I'd have to get on my computer to double check.
all right, so Tower Automotive has requested a Freeport exemption for a period of 9 years. Is there a motion?
I just want to verify, when I look down here, it says for 10 years.
Where?
It's on the screen on number 6.
I'm looking at, I have page 153, Tower. I'm looking at page 153. It says application of Tower Automotive.
I believe they sent in a couple of different applications.
What does Tower Automotive exactly do? So they sent in multiple applications.
I think there's 2.
Their supplier, do something.
Supplier needs one. Which one are we
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, we got 2 applications. One they asked for 9 years and one they asked for 10 years. I guess I'll wait for a motion from the board.
Yeah, it looks like one is for a Freeport. The first one for the 10 years that they request is for a Freeport exemption. And then the second application that they have is saying that they are a new business or new enterprise. So they're building a new facility or adding parts or something to that extent. And that one that they are requesting for 9 years. So Freeport, they're requesting a 10-year Freeport exemption. You can have both, one for Freeport and one for the new enterprise. And so they're asking 10 years for their Freeport warehouse exemption, and then another exemption, their new business or the new portion of their business, for a 9-year period of time.
Have they been granted an exemption before?
Not from the city of Gluckstadt.
Okay.
They have not specifically come before us since the county approved theirs prior.
All right, so Mr. Key, let me make sure I understand. The 10-year application is for the Freeport exemption.
Yes.
The 9-year application is
not for Freeport. That's for either an expansion of a business or just a new
basic
business.
ad valorem taxes that we're all used to. That would be addressed by the policy that Mr. Powell wants to talk about, and we've tabled till next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, so my suggestion would be, you guys can obviously do what you want, but perhaps the most appropriate thing to do would be to table their request for their expansion, their 9-year application for reconsideration after we adopt the policy. And then with regard to the Freeport exemption, if anybody's got a motion to grant that 10-year requested exemption, go ahead and make it.
I'm gonna break into CA and CB. So CA is gonna be for the Freeport, so I'll make a motion that we grant the Freeport.
Second. All right, so Mr. Powell made the motion, Mr. Taylor seconded the granting of their 10-year Freeport exemption. All in favor?
So
Any opposed? All right, and then for,
CD would be for the ad valorem only, and we table that one for next one, so we can
all right,
get that figured out.
all right, Mr. Powell made a motion, we table that application request, Mr. Taylor seconded it. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you guys for doing that.
What about 7A?
7A is similar to 6CB. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so is there a motion then, we want to table that?
I'd make that motion to table it.
Mr. Powell made the motion, is there a second? Second. Mr. Taylor seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, that gets us down to to 7B. Miss Mary Clark. You've been waiting patiently. Miss Clark, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
It's been a long journey since we spoke last time, and we appreciate y'all's patience. We've been working diligently to try to get this project started. We feel like we're finally reaching an end. I would give you a little update on what's been going on since we spoke last. When we spoke last time, we had been awarded a federal grant, a state grant. Y'all had agreed to help us, and then the community was going to also, we raised funds to get that done. Well, when the new administration came, there was a problem with the federal grants. They changed the requirements on the federal grant, which was not on the application that we've been awarded, but then they said you had to be a nonprofit. And we, to get a nonprofit status would have taken longer than we had, they allowed us, it gave us a month, they said it would take basically a year. And then that would cost, it would have a lot of things that we would have to do as a neighborhood. So we ended up not getting the federal grant after all. The state, however, came back in and upped the amount that they were willing to give us because they wanted to help us with that. But that made it then a 65, they could do 65%, where the neighborhood plus your help would be 35%. And so the plans that we had the engineers had submitted to them, we took quotes on those, and we received one for $250,000. And with the help of the city and the money that we had raised and the 65% from the state, we thought we can do this. And so we moved forward. We decided to move forward with that. We met with MDEQ. We went over contracts. They took us through the contract meeting, but they said that there were some changes to the plans they needed to make first before they would finally approve it and we could get contracts. They said about 2 weeks. That was July, almost 2 years ago. It's been a long time. So it's gone back and forth, and the engineers have submitted plans to MDEQ. MDEQ gives them comments back. They make changes. They run the projects, and they finally were able to get one that the MDEQ finally approved. So we went back out, got the new quotes on that, and of course the cost went way up. And so then the engineering firm worked with MDEQ to reduce some costs. And even with the cost reductions, there's a gap in the amount that we had raised versus in the amount the state was giving us. Now the new design is one that's supposed to hold more water, and it's supposed to decrease the speed of discharge, so protecting the rest of the city. So really serving as a flood prevention for the city. With this new increase in cost, there's a gap between what the neighborhood had expected was going to be their part, plus what the city had committed to, what the state was giving us, of $52,864. We appreciate your commitment to help us, and before that's dire to us getting it done. We're just here to ask if there's any other amount that you could help, any way you could help us fill in that gap. We're committed as a neighborhood, but anything that you could do would help us.
Ms. Clark, let me ask you a few questions. The overall project cost is what?
I have, can I bring this to you?
Of course.
I have little copies you can share.
Okay, great.
I also have a copy of the new plans if y'all, if anybody would like to see that.
Okay, so let me make sure that I am interpreting this correctly. Overall estimated project cost is $406,080.
Is that adding the?
Yeah, let me hand you.
Yeah. Right. The,
Estimated project cost $406,080.
correct.
Okay, and then you've got the grant from MDEQ
Right.
of $263,952.
Right.
And then Arrington's,
That was, our portion, and that included the commitment from, y'all, we turned in the minutes from our last time that we met to MDEQ, so they were counting that as well. It's gonna be $142,128. However, there's additional engineering costs of $35,000 because of all the, back and forth. So the total project now was, the 35% match and the part of the engineering design that we have to pay for is a total of $177,128.
hey, I had you all the way up to MDEQ grant. And I understand that that's what the state's giving you, $263,952.
Correct.
So you're about, using simple math, $140,000 shy.
$142,128.
Okay, and so of the $142,128, what is the Arrington development? What are you guys putting in with that?
We, so far, we were putting in, we took the amount that y'all had promised us, the $52,500. And, we collected roughly, at the time, roughly $80,000 from the neighborhood. But now with the increase, that still leaves us a shortfall of, $52,864, now that the costs have gone up.
I'm still real confused. Are y'all confused or am I just?
I wish we all had that paper.
So, yeah, so here's what I'm looking at is that after the MDEQ money, you're $142,000 shy of paying for the project. Am I right?
Right.
Okay.
Mine,
And what I'm trying to understand is of the $142,000, what is Arrington contributing towards project? The dollar amount. That's all I'm
actually,
looking
there's
for,
an
the dollar.
additional engineering, design, which is $35,000. So the total is the $177,128. Minus the $52,500 commitment from Gluckstadt City. The neighborhood is responsible for the remaining
All right,
portion,
so
which
is
is
the
roughly,
estimated project cost $406,080 plus $35,000?
yes.
All right, that's where I'm lost. All right, so 406,000 plus 35 is 441,000. MDEQ gave you 263. That leaves you 177,000 shy.
Well, with, like I said, with the commitment of, the city, if we subtract 52,000 up for that, it leaves us roughly 122,000 shy. We had already collected from the neighborhood about 80,000. So, I don't have the exact amounts with me, but when I subtracted it, it left a gap now of $52,864 that the neighborhood would either have to come up with, but we wanted to know if there was any way that y'all could help us with that.
Okay, so basically in round numbers, to answer my question, the neighborhood has come up with about 80,000.
Yes.
MDEQ's come up with 263,000. And that, the city committed to 52,500 some time ago.
Right.
Leaving you 52,800 shy.
Yes, 52,864.
Okay. Thank you for helping to clarify all that for me. I just wanted to kind of understand who all had skin in the game and when.
Right, we have, as a neighborhood, everybody is committed, everybody, all except for one household is paid. And so we have the money but we had the money in the bank, and then we were good until this gap. And so now either we'll have to do one of two things, collect more money or.
Okay. All right, and just for those of you who don't know about this, we had our city engineers look into the real need to make sure that Arrington Lake was working properly, because it does capture floodwaters that will ultimately impact large portions of the city if that were not to be done correctly. And so there is a need for the community as a whole, not just for Arrington Lake neighborhood, to make sure that this flood control issue is resolved. So, any questions or discussion there? I appreciate it. You're asking for up to $58,864 on top of what we've already committed.
We'll take 58, but it was really 52. 864, but we'll take 58.
All right, any discussion?
Could, any of the grants, we apply for a grant since it is in city limits and city, like it will help the city?
The MDEQ called us yesterday and wanted to know the exact name that the contracts are in. They're ready to give us the contracts, and we're afraid that the grant money that they have promised us has limits on it as well. I don't know that there would be time for that.
I think what Ms. Campbell is asking is whether or not we have any additional grants that we may be able to get through the city. That's not something we've looked at, have we, Chris? I have not.
And I can talk to MEMA too, because this directly affects our floodplain. First I've heard of it, so I can.
So, there's probably a short time frame for what they're needing here, so I don't know that additional grants are probably a very good answer. Any other questions or comments?
What about, the county? This is far talking to them at all, because a lot of this started, I mean, not trying to deflect it, but before we were city, we were already having issues with this, and the county knew about it.
The county actually built the lake, as I shared with y'all earlier. However, whenever I spoke with the county, they said that we had to have an MOA, memorandum of agreement from Glucksat. As you remember, years ago, that was our first meeting here. Since that time, as we reached back out, they have not agreed. They said that, that we needed to speak with the city because it is now part of the city.
What's your deadline?
We're hoping to sign the contracts like tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, they were revising the small revisions from the engineering firm, and speaking to William at MDEQ, we just needed the final organization to write the contracts. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be able to sign, or I'll be able to sign, and we can move forward with the project.
So just sorry, Mary, if I can, just make sure, everyone's clear, since this is private property, and you'll be spending public money on private property, there is a legal basis to do so if you make the finding that it benefits the public at large and not just a single property owner or two. So if there is a finding that if you were to vote to allocate 1 cent to them, it would need to be accompanied by an attendant finding that there is a public need and it benefits the public at large. So
yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Mr. Scanlon. If you guys look back at the materials, page 203, you'll find an email that I sent in November of 2024 that documented a discussion I had with our engineer, Brad Ingalls, who said that there was sufficient data to support the position that the Arrington Lake does provide flood relief to the city. So I think that founding would be well supported by what we know the facts to be.
and I would recommend if you make that finding, that's reflected based on that engineering letter.
Okay. All right. So their ask is for up to $52,864 on top of the $52,500 we had previously agreed to fund.
I have a question.
Yes.
First and foremost, is it in the budget? Our last budget season, we tried to trim as much of the fat as we could to stay within our where we needed to be. So, I guess my question is there money sitting there to be spent for something like that? Should be something like that?
We would have to find the money in the budget.
Yeah.
The previously planned 52.5 is in the budget for this fiscal year, but this is an unanticipated expense.
So to answer your question, it's not a line item in the budget for this request. We didn't really know about this request.
I'm saying there's the money there that.
Yeah, well, I mean, is there money there? You know the way the budgeting process works. You can pull money from one pocket to another. At the end of the day, the question is there enough pockets to cover all the needs, So. But this was not accounted for and not contemplated when the budget was adopted last year.
Was the original that was promised before, that was not?
It's in.
It is in, okay, that is contribution.
We need an additional 50, that's what you said?
Well, we've already accounted for and promised 52,500. So we would need an additional 52, up to 52,864, which is what their request is. All right, is there a motion to appropriate any additional funds towards this Arrington Lake project?
I'll make the motion to do that and also look for some grants in the meantime and maybe you can defer some of that for us.
Mr. Taylor, is your motion
Yes.
for the entirety of the sum, $52,864?
Now, you've had 2 years since you started this. Have y'all done any more fundraising?
We have, yes.
That's where you are now, the 80,000? Okay.
That doesn't mean I can continue to.
Exactly. We know that there needs to also, because it's been empty for so long, that there is also some cosmetic work that has to be done. All that is very, very expensive. And so anything that y'all can do would help us. Like I said, as a homeowners association, we've been very committed and are paying the money. We want it to look good for the city of Gluckstadt, and we want it to also be good for the flood control.
I think the public money that's spent on that would need to be limited to drainage
Absolutely.
and flood control, no cosmetic.
Everything that we are asking for is for the flood prevention only. Nothing cosmetic. That's what you asked about other fundraising, and if there was that, we could spend it for that.
We have a question on the. We didn't talk very much.
So has the lake functioned correctly the last 2 years?
No.
The lake has,
So it has hurt the city of the floodplain?
MDEQ had siphons on it, so if there was a rain that filled it back up, it was siphoned off to prevent flood. When they drained the lake, they were required to cut the pipe off, and so that keeps the level of the lake down. And then if there's a heavy rain, they've had to do it twice, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Siphon them.
They did cut the pipe during a heavy rain event. All the debris from the lake stopped up the pipe, which caused it to exceed its capacity almost. We almost had water coming up and lost that road. DEQ came out, they put 2 8-inch siphon pumps. Over 2 weeks, they were able to get that to empty out where it was a more manageable level. But we had a function and find it would work, but right now, if that gets stopped up again, and we have an 8-10 inch rain, those siphon pumps really aren't gonna help too much.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I make a second motion or amend?
You can make the second motion. I'll keep track of all motions.
So my motion would be to still do what we've already promised. But with the additional, I would say honestly table it until the next meeting where we can do more research and look at the budget and possibly look into more grants if the city can.
Okay, so.
I mean, that's a lot of money for.
Okay, so we have 2 motions, Mr. Taylor's motion and Mrs. Campbell's motion to table the item. Before I call for votes on these motions? Are there any additional motions to be had? Okay. Having heard nothing else, let's proceed first with Mr. Taylor's motion. He made a motion to appropriate an additional $52,864, finding that, as a matter of fact, that this project does provide flood relief to the city of Gluckstadt, which would justify the allocation of those funds. Is there a second of Mr. Taylor's motion?
I'll second.
Mr. Powell seconded the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, I'm going to record that as a unanimous 5-0 vote. Am I correct about that? Okay, so it was a 4-1. Ms. Campbell opposed. And Ms. Campbell, I believe that would moot your tabling motion. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Campbell, Mr. Ball, you want to talk about grants?
Mayor, sorry, Alderman Powell. Did you say Ms. Campbell or Ms. Keller?
Did I miss something? I'm sorry.
About grants.
Yeah.
Alderman Powell had asked that we put this on the agenda for consideration, the 6 month.
All right, item 7C.
As you guys are aware, Scott Ma and myself have taken over grants since our grant writer is no longer with us. And we've been doing it for about 6 months. And when we took over grants, we had the understanding that we would revisit it with the department at that deadline of 6 months. And if y'all wanted us to continue doing it, if we're doing a good job or if we need to do something different. So this is a request by Alderman Powell to discuss the 6 months.
Okay, Mr. Powell?
Sure. All right, so I guess a question for each of y'all. How many hours a week do you feel like you spend on grant stuff?
It just depends. Some weeks are busier than others on grants.
5 hours or 6 hours?
Average, I'd say 10.
10 hours a week?
Yeah, maybe 8 to 12.
40-hour work week, you're spending 10 hours on grants?
Yeah, between the two of us.
I'm just strictly you.
Okay, so maybe 6.
6, and then for you?
Like you said, it really is hard to pin down. I'll give you that way. Today, I spent a lot of time on our DPS stuff. It was almost all day just doing that because there was just issues. So now that next week, I probably won't have, because it was also a reporting deadline day. So you had basically 8 hours today, plus I met with Slade on something for 2 hours. So that's 10 hours in this 1 week, just dedicated to this one thing. So like you said, it's very strict. I had to put an average 8 to 10.
What would you say as far as help from other individuals? I know Mr. Manager's help, I know Chief Slave, and some of these other people help facilitate some of these and put together and everything as well. So, I mean, this hours that you're talking about, it's not in addition to them, right? It's not helping them with anything. They're doing their own thing over there, and then
yeah, and we work.
Y'all may administer it or do something part of it. They're really putting it together and pushing it forward and everything.
Mr. Manager has put together a few of the homeland grants because he's very well versed in it, but we assisted with that. Same with Mr. Butner, he put together the most grant, but I helped him with that as well. So I mean, it's a team effort.
Sure.
But as far as the management, I think that's what Scott's speaking to more so, is the management.
All right. Well, and I'm gonna back up real quick because I do think that y'all done an excellent job. When we had previously, oh my gosh, it's just a difference in my day. So thank you on that. But what about time? Do y'all spend any time outside of work, like at your house, working on grants?
Yeah, and every once in a while, we'll research some stuff outside, trying to find new grants, reading up on grants, different things for mainly parks right now, walking trails, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't say it's a ton of hours doing that, just every once in a while.
Cool. Well, like I said, I think y'all done a great job with it. So I just want to have it brought back up as it said that 6 months, and I know that we had done some additional income for you guys for taking over the grant writing and just I think, if we continue forward with that, that's something that the board would need to discuss and vote on again, if I'm not mistaken. So just, I don't know if anybody else got any ideas, questions or anything.
We're happy to do it. I mean, we've enjoyed the grant side of it. It kind of gives us something new and fun to do, challenging. And I think that Scott's done a wonderful job with the traffic grant and some of the other law enforcement grants, and we enjoy it. So we're happy to do it.
All right, any other questions or comments? Ms. Bates?
Is it safe to say that we have a committee that works on the grants? Like the committee is all department heads that work on the grants?
No.
Equally?
No.
So.
Me and Scott primarily do it.
They don't help find grants, they don't help gather information.
Chris does a good amount of work on the park grants, and the most grant he did do a lot of heavy lifting, him and Amber did. But we typically will, if there's something that they want to go after, we will meet with them and kind of gauge what they're wanting to do. Yeah, and then we typically go after the grants.
So y'all do all the research for the grants, y'all put all the research on the statistics for the grants, and they just say, hey, this is the grant we want to apply for.
Yeah, with the exception of the Homeland grant and the most grant, because Chris did do a lot of research on that.
So is it safe to say it's a collaborative effort amongst?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's a committee. I mean, we meet with the department heads anytime they're interested in getting grants, and try to help them figure out what it is that they want to go after, whether that's equipment or personnel, what deadlines are. But typically Scott or I write the grants. With the exception of the 2 Homeland grants and the most grant. So, but we always take input from the department heads. We work as a team.
Right.
Like I said, Chris and Amber did a substantial amount on the most grant.
Right.
Any other questions or comments?
Do you anticipate that you use Chris and Amber to go after any other grants, like parks and recreational grants?
Yeah, we'll work together on it. But I would say that, going forward, other than the most grant, it would be a 50%, them and 50% us. So, teamwork effort. But we don't have a formal committee. That's what I wanted to make clear.
Yeah, from just the outside looking in, it looks like it's a committee where, hey, here's this grant, and y'all are all working together to be able to apply for that grant.
I don't think it looks like that. I think it might look like that right now because of the park and we're trying to get that up and going, but I think Scott and Lindsay are doing a lot of the heavy lifting with grants.
And I will say whenever it comes time for reporting and stuff like that, financials and everything, that's mainly
Right.
him doing that. We kind of do the busy work they do, kind of what
And
we're
there's
reporting.
always like different aspects of the grants. You have your deliverables that would be for your side, Chris, so like where we are in the process. But then you also have your financial management, which is more Lindsay and Scott's lane, correct?
Yes. But I mean, he's not gonna sit there and use his time to look up PD grants or
No,
anything
that's
like
not
that.
what I'm saying.
No, so I wouldn't really say it's a committee.
Yeah, I mean, a substantial amount of time. Yeah, sorry. A substantial amount of time is spent on grant management. So, and that is primarily Scott and I's.
Would you say that, with the grant management, is that within a 40-hour work week?
Yes.
Is it within, or do you have to do extra work outside of the 40-hour work week?
No, we usually, because like I said, it comes in reporting periods. So maybe quarterly reporting, monthly reporting. With DPS, it's monthly. With some of these other grants, it's quarterly. So, we can manage it within our 40 hours, yes. But anything as far as looking up new grants or research, we tend to go over the 40 hours sometimes.
All right, there's, with regard to the world of grants, there's research and trying to find and ultimately submit applications for grants. And then there is the administrative reporting and management of the grants. And yes, some of those aspects, department heads get involved, they collaborate or work with Mr. Mullin and Ms. Kellum. But Mr. Mullin and Ms. Kellum oversee our entire grant program. They do all of the reporting, all of the financial management of it. And I would suggest to you guys, they've done a fantastic job, and the program ought to continue on like it has continued since we adopted it 6 or 7 months ago. So that's my input. But there's any motions about wanting to alter or change or keep going, now's a good time to make it.
I make a motion to keep it the way it is.
Second. Right, Ms. Campbell made the motion, Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. All right, Ms. Kellum, item 8A and 8B, items 8A and 8B are FYI matters. Is there anything you want to add to
No,
the
sir.
memos that you've submitted?
In the interest of time and given the amount of stuff on this agenda, I would submit that we could move on to the third item.
All right, are there any questions, however, before we do that, on items 8A or 8B? All right, item 8C.
And so if y'all will remember, I brought before you guys last month, some options to consider increasing PTO time for some employees. Again, this is coming from some of the exit interviews that noted that our accrual rates were lower than what they were used to. So Chastity, my deputy clerk, did a significant amount of research and polling of other cities to bring all of this information before you. And if you remember, it was brought in March and it was tabled. So I recirculated all this information and the handbook to you guys about a week ago. And I hope you've had time to review it and make notes. But I am suggesting that there be a minimal increase in PTO to get more in line with some of the other jurisdictions.
Now, what is a specific recommendation? Do you have a specific?
I believe it's on the last page. I'm sorry.
The last page of your memo, page 260, Mr. Moss.
Okay, yeah.
Under my recommendation right there.
These provide a lot of options. I guess what I'm saying is that is there a recommendation that you suggest?
Yes, so.
For instance, number one, increase vacation accrual from 3.077 to a specific higher rate.
Yeah, I really was leaving that up to the board, to the rate as to what they would like to do. My request was more that it be a tiered implementation. So after a year of being with the city, because I believe, Chastity, if I'm wrong, it's 12 days right now. Many of the cities start off at year one, they'll have maybe 14 days. And then they'll go up, and tier it. If year 5, year 8, that's kind of what I was looking for, is to put in some tiers.
Would the 3.077 stay if it was tiered? Or would we need to change the options to one of the other ones and then also tier it?
Yes, you would change it to an increased rate.
Okay.
You can start accruing vacation leave after a year or 6 months.
You can start accruing vacation immediately right now, but you can't take it within 6 months. So there's a probationary period of 6 months before you can use it. That's different with sick leave, though. Sick leave is accrued at the same rate, but you can take it immediately.
So in 6 months, you can accrue 5 days. So you can use 5 days of vacation. That's strong.
Yeah, at 6 months, yes, sir.
All right, anybody want to make a motion to make any amendments to these leave accrual rates and compensatory leave policy?
I'll make a motion to do the 3.69 on a tiered rate and then increase the sick leave to. Well, the handbook says they start getting it now and then they won't, the tier won't happen until year 3.
So if we increase the rate, y'all will be able to accrue more time, correct? So it's the same amount of time, right?
If we increase the rate, it'll be more days and it will accrue quicker. It takes about, I think we're at 3.077 right now. So it takes a little more than 2 pay periods because we're getting
bi-weekly pay, so you accrue your hours bi-weekly. So it takes a little over a month to get a full day of PTO time.
So basically, a month right now, you get 1 day.
Mhm.
And if we increase
A
it,
little less than 1 day.
if we increased it to 3.69, what would that be? Like a day and a half?
It'll be like 7.38 hours monthly. So it's still less than a day a month. And right now, it's just right now with PERS and the new tier, it's hard. Like, the city of Byron pays life insurance, health insurance, dental, vision, all of that for their employees. You have to compete with the surrounding municipalities, and paying insurance, I don't know how that budgets. Time is different.
This seems to me, from my observation, to be a rather small issue with regard to the accrual rate when we're going. I mean, we're talking about such small amounts, even if some increase here is adopted. So I don't know personally, how valuable of a motivating factor this would be to encourage somebody to come to work for the city of Gluckstadt. So I'm not impressed by items 1, 2, and 4. I am a little, though, convinced, I am very convinced, that we need to increase the comp time cap from 50 hours to some higher. Because what comp time is that people who have to come in, like Ms. Burton has to come in often on the weekends to man municipal court because somebody's gotten arrested and they have an initial appearance. She's only allowed to bank and use 50 hours of comp time. So there are circumstances where she might be called to come in and work and she's not compensated either financially or through the use of comp time. So that issue should be remedied. I don't think our people need to come in and work on the weekends, at nights, what have you, and not be allowed to utilize their comp time.
There aren't many city employees who actually accrue comp time.
I understand.
It's typically only department heads who actually accrue.
And those are the people who are having to come in and work, without pay on the weekends and at night. Other people, like our police officers, they earn overtime.
And I did want to mention that a lot of this with the leave accruals, we saw in exit interviews from police. So, they kind of earn at a different rate. They come in for 12 hours, so that we may want to consider looking at that closer.
I think that I'm going to go back to exactly what I said last time. There needs some specific recommendations made to the board. Okay, if you want and believe that this policy needs to be amended to make us more competitive and to make us a better place to work so that other people want to come work for the city, that's great. But y'all need to put that on paper so that the board can consider it and really understand the ramifications of the particular modifications that you want to make to the policy. All right, so
are you asking, I'm sorry, just for a particular number? We would like to increase our approval time from 3.077 to.
Yes, ma'am.
So it wouldn't be up for board discretion. It would be the city clerk bringing you this number and.
But it's always gonna be up to the board's discretion. Okay, but I think that if you give them a definitive plan as to what you want, and if we can see what the real ramifications of modifying these policies are, we can go from there. Okay, but there's just too many variables, too many hypotheticals.
Yes, sir. I think we were seeking board feedback before.
And I think that what we like to do, what I prefer you to do, and I see a lot of folks nodding here, bring us something that you think is the right thing to do, and then we'll go from there.
but also including the 12 holidays, which are also off. So right now, it looks like the 4 weeks, city employees have 4 weeks of vacation after a year. Is that correct? That's strong.
No, they have 2
You
weeks.
get 10 days and 12 holidays. Is that not 4 weeks?
No, that's not 4 weeks.
You get 12 holidays off?
No.
All right,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
look,
not PTO, but it's still long.
I'm happy to collaborate with y'all to help distill this down a little bit, but I think that it's difficult to put all of this right here with all of the variables and all of the various considerations. So let's the three of us sit down and try to distill this down.
May I request that y'all at least look at the comp policy tonight and maybe increase that to 75 hours from 50?
There's a comp policy, and I'm not able to upload anything to this one, but is there a statement in there about police officers such as like the chief or the assistant chief?
So there's only certain positions that can get comp in the
Yeah,
state.
I believe they're on the list, but they have to work like a Christmas Day and they lose, or New Year's Eve, and they lose that comp time because they've already worked overtime. They're like a statement.
Yeah, if they work on Christmas, then they're getting double time. You know, I'm not speaking of the chief. I mean, any regular officers would get overtime.
We changed it to fiscal year. Yeah, it's been changed to fiscal year.
Okay, so you're asking then for us to increase the annual comp time cap from 50 to 75 hours?
Yes.
And we said we were gonna do that based on fiscal year or calendar year?
Fiscal year. So that it aligns with our fiscal year, because right now the policy's on calendar, the way that Todd drafted it.
All right, so this new policy would take effect immediately?
Yes.
All right. Is there a motion then to increase the annual compensatory time cap from 50 to 75 hours?
Motion.
All right, Mr. Taylor made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then let's work the three of us on the remaining part of this, okay? All right, thank you guys for all of that. Parental leave policy.
Yeah, so last meeting, you guys directed me to get with our employment lawyer to draft a formal policy on parental leave. You were in favor of extending the 6-week paid leave to new parents. That includes mothers and fathers, city employees that would run concurrent with FMLA. This is that policy, and I hope you've had time to review it. Todd Butler drafted it for us, our employment lawyer. And this is similar to what's being adopted, you know, I think this one came from New Orleans School District.
Did the board adopt the policy last meeting or just instruct you?
No, you instructed me to get a policy yesterday.
Okay. All right, has everybody reviewed this proposed paid parental leave policy? Are there any questions? Is there a motion to adopt the proposed policy?
Make that motion, sir.
Mr. Howell made the motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 8E, Ms. Bates.
Yes, so we had a conversation recently, last month, about working remotely. And so I felt like it was a good idea. We're growing as a city to go ahead and establish a remote work policy. And so I want to bring it before the board to have discussions. If there's anything that you would like to see in that policy, I would like to take that into consideration before we go back and talk with Todd Butler on establishing a policy. He does have some sample policies that we can implement, but just the reason why we would need one is just to establish clear and defined circumstances when you can work remotely. And if and hopefully this would never happen if there's bad weather or natural disaster, we'll already have that policy in place for our employees to be able to work from home and to continue the operations of the city. If there are any questions about that, if you don't have anything you'd like to add to the policy, I would like to take any kind of consideration and bring it back before the board next meeting.
My policy would be short. The mayor approves it or the city clerk approves it, then that's fine. Let them work from home.
All right, So what I hear you asking for is
Ideas.
between now and our next meeting,
Right.
any input from any of you on the board with regard to a proposed work from home or remote working policy, go ahead and get that to Ms. Bates.
So
Mr.
if I want to say a time frame with like a week,
Yeah,
if you're gonna get with Todd Butler.
We say about next week, next day, Friday, next week.
All right, y'all send that to Ms. Bates if you have anything. Item 8F. You have anything to add to your grants update?
Just a couple of things I wanted to make y'all aware of, and it's the last two items. We are going to be requesting the board approve, two things, and that's the MOST grant. We have a notice to proceed now with the MOST grant for the park. I'm gonna be requesting y'all to allow me to set up a new bank account and transfer the funds, in the full amount over to the new bank account so that we can begin work on the park. In addition, we have an opportunity to apply for a private grant, a donor that may come in and facilitate a good amount of this park. And so we're gonna be requesting approval for that as well. Those are the two main things I wanted y'all to look at.
Those are items G and H, what you just covered.
Yes, and they're on my.
Are there any
spreadsheet.
questions about just the general monthly grants update? All right, item 8G is a request to accept the MOST grant award. Notice to proceed and a request to set up a bank account to transfer those funds. Any questions about that? Is there a motion then to accept that grant and to proceed accordingly? Make that motion. Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, now, before we talk about 8H, Mr. Butler, we're clear to go ahead and discuss this
Yes, sir.
in public?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you want to speak on it?
We have been talking with, the foundation, Blue Cross Blue Shield about help with our playground for the park. They have been kind of walking with us, helping us get into this, and they are wanting to go to their board at the end of the month to ask for a certain amount of money to help get our playground for the park. But we need permission from y'all to apply for their grant.
Are we free to discuss in open meeting the specifics of that?
As far as she didn't really say,
Yes, we are.
Okay, what's the amount of the proposal from Blue Cross?
right now it's $2 million.
I'm sorry?
$2 million.
So, just, we've been working closely with the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation, who has agreed and worked with us over the last couple of years to come in and help us develop our park by essentially donating to the city $2 million. And, when you pay that Blue Cross premium, you probably get angry sometimes, but I will tell you, they have been very, very helpful and very willing to help.
Very patient.
And very patient, and it is a tremendous thing that they want to do for the city. And Mr. Buckner has been working very closely with them, and we need to get approval from this board so they can get approval from their board so we can take their $2 million. Any questions at all about the request to apply for the Blue Cross Blue Shield grant?
To be clear, there's no match.
Free money. All right, their motion then to authorize us to apply for that grant. Ms. Campbell made the motion. There a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? If you know anybody at Blue Cross on their foundation, thank them. All right, item 8I. Thank you, Mr. Butler.
This is
Thank
very
you.
brief. As y'all know, we've received a grant for a documentary for the city of Gluckstadt, a historical documentary. And I have put in the backup a outline essentially of what the next steps are. So they're in the middle of the research phase, and we have a great documentarian that is a Mississippi-based documentarian. So I just wanted to update the board that that project is moving forward in the research phase right now.
Any questions at all about item 8H, I'm sorry, 8I? All right, we're gonna go to planning and zoning. Mr. Dearman, first, if you give us your general planning and zoning update, which is item 9B.
Yes, sir. Good evening. So as you can see, the P and Z was pretty busy last month. We had a regular meeting on March 24th, and we're bringing 9 submissions to you guys tonight. I've got the February approved minutes and the draft minutes from March's meeting attached for your consideration. Our next meeting will be April 28th. The Architectural Review Commission had a regular meeting on the 17th, and then we had another special call meeting on the 19th to try to finalize our new architectural standards. And I've been speaking with you guys via email, looking forward to our April 23rd work session to hopefully finalize these architectural standards. The P&Z and the building department had a total of 18 new permits and submissions with a total of fees of $7,951 as of April 6th. And also the permit log is attached here too.
Any questions of Mr. Dearman about his general update? All right, before we move on to item 9A, which will take immediately after 9C, Mr. Dearman, talk to us about your floodplain permit adoption.
Yeah, so I just recently got back from floodplain training with MEMA, and as you know, we have a floodplain ordinance and we're a part of the NFIP. And one thing I noticed, they were hounding all the people down there about your floodplain development permit. And we don't, as of right now, have that paperwork. So I got with them and they have a standard form, and I've attached it here and I've customized it to our need and gotten with legal, and they're good with language in it. And essentially what we want to do is adopt this permit. So anybody that wants to build, renovate anything within our floodplain, this floodplain permit will coincide with the building permit. And it's, and the goal is to make sure we track, enforce, and really stick to our, so we stay within our NFIP items. And we're requesting just $100 fee for it because it is a pretty extensive deal where what I really want to do is make people aware, because believe it or not, a lot of people aren't even aware they're in the floodplain. This kind of lays it out. Hey, this is what we expect from you as a builder. And the biggest thing here is we, per our ordinance, we require 3 stages of elevation certificates: pre-construction, during construction, and then post-construction. So this kind of just puts it all out there to them as opposed to us explaining it. And MEMA, through FEMA, highly recommends we have this paperwork on hand. So we're requesting the adoption of this permit. And like I said, it will coincide Christian's building permits. And we'll make anybody during the site plan process aware of this, but we will not actually issue it until the site plan's approved, and we'll do it about the same time.
So what you're asking the board to do is require this additional permit be obtained in the course of the development.
Correct.
And authorizing the city to charge the developer an additional $100.
Correct.
And adopt the forms that you.
Correct. And it's actually stated in our ordinance that we're supposed to supply a form, a permit. So okay. As of right now, we just don't have that documentation.
Any questions at all of Mr. Dearman about this proposed floodplain permit?
Does that $100 cover our costs of whatever we got to do?
It does, and one reason why I wanted to limit to that is because we require 3 elevation certificates for this builder, and that's a license survey has to do these. And each one of them is probably going to be about $2,500 a pop. So I don't think we need to go big on the fee wise, and it's mainly my job. If you look through it, they provide basic information, And it's really gonna hold me accountable to go through and check everything they're doing, so, yes.
All right, is there a motion then to adopt this flood permit and authorize the charge of the $100? Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second? Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Mr. Dearman, would you hand me that sign-up sheet that's there, please? We're gonna take item 9A. How many of you here are here to be heard on item 9A, consideration of the site plan for the Taco Bell on Gluckstadt Road? All right, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 or so.
And Mayor, some of them are the applicants themselves.
Okay. So here's what I plan on doing. Everybody who wants to speak and be heard will be allowed to speak and be heard. And I'm gonna limit everybody to 2 minutes, okay? So that we don't drag on any further than necessary. And here's the way I plan on doing this. Mr. Dearman will speak based upon what his work and his role has been so far to bring the board up generally. Then I'll allow the applicant to speak. And then all of those who wish to speak either for it or against it will be allowed to do that. Okay, so that'll be the plan, Mr. Dearman.
And we need to call, they have some engineers that want to call in. Scott, can you call real quick? Yeah, 214.
Oh, hold on, I gotta figure out. All right, say again.
214-551-3642. And this is gonna be Channing. Correct? Yes.
Hello, this is Channing.
Channing, this is Walter Morrison. I'm the mayor. You are live on the speakerphone, and we're getting ready to take your item up. Okay.
Okay, I do have a team of there are several of us that are in different parts of different states that are on the. Is it possible to call into a conference line?
No, ma'am. This is all we've got at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dearman.
All right, so Pacific Bell is requesting a site approval for the new Taco Bell on Gluckstadt Road. This lot is currently zoned to C2, and it is a first permitted use. They're proposing a 2,200 square foot drive-through fast food restaurant. They plan to share a driveway with Take 5, and they have the appropriate parking spaces, 26-foot wide drives, more than the 5 queuing spots required for drive-through, and appropriate drainage for this project. Their setbacks are correct, including the 20-foot setback in the southwest corner where they abut Red Oak subdivision. They've included a privacy fence along with additional landscaping in that southwest corner. Their overall landscaping is more than sufficient, and they've also included a photometric plan detailing where their exterior lighting is focused. And when they get up here, they can speak to it. In my opinion, the applicant has satisfied all the requirements for the site plan, has responded quickly to all of our requests. It was presented to the ARC and the P&Z boards here last month. The ARC board decided to table the submission until they can work out the exteriors. And shortly after that, we got a revised elevation. Scott, if you scroll on down. Pac Bell revised, removing the purple banding, and went to all brick. But in the ARC's mind right now, that is still a tabled item. That's the newest submission there in terms of the siding. The site plan was then presented to the P&Z board along with the revised exteriors. The P&Z denied the recommendation of approval over concerns with the proximity to the residential area, compatibility with the abutting neighborhood, and no existing turn lane on Gluckstadt Road, which would add to the traffic congestion. And I just made a note here, if approved, we do recommend that the exterior material and color scheme go back through the ARC meeting in order to satisfy their needs in terms of the exterior. And I'll turn it over to Taco Bell.
Before you do that, let me make sure nobody up here has particular questions at this moment of you, Mr. Dearman. Anybody? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just one brief. This lot looks really small.
It is
to me. Can it? what's that, 117 and 239?
It's 118, right at 118 feet in the front. And, they meet the requirement for a single use. It's 100 feet width required. And then, the lot's got to be at least 21,000 square feet.
I was just getting to could anything else fit on here besides a drive-through only restaurant? Because I don't see a office building being able to.
Correct. It's a
Is
tight
that what I'm
lot.
looking at? I mean,
Yes, sir. It's a tight lot, and that Taco Bell's done a good job fitting it in there for the requirements.
Okay.
Any other questions of Mr. Dearman? Mr. Dearman, thank you. And now, who wants to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Hello.
Sir?
Yeah, Sean Doran with Phelps. Thank you all for letting us be here today. We've been working on this lot in particular for now multiple projects. We were part of the team that initially purchased the lot for RPM Realty. They developed it. They spent nearly $250,000 to bring water and sewer down Gluckstadt Road to help future development in Gluckstadt. And so we're happy to be at this point. I mean, we're talking about a Taco Bell that'll be a brand new build, $2 million in taxable sales revenue a year. And frankly, I mean, I know that there's a lot of question about this development. This is a site plan approval. Mr. Dearman, is there any part of this project that does not comply with the site plan requirements or the zoning ordinance?
No, sir, we have not found it.
And that should be it. So I get it that there are people here that want to have debate about the use, but the use is settled. And I get it that y'all don't want to receive flack about this project, but it's not really in the city's discretion to say that a properly zoned use is not suitable. And so I would love to keep this discussion to the site plan. Is there anything further we can do on the site plan to make this more palatable? Frankly, I drove by the property today. I turned in shortly after 5, no problem with traffic. You cannot see a residential house from this property.
Wrong. I apologize. You'll get the opportunity to speak.
After this project is complete, there will be a second 6-foot fence plus additional vegetation over that fence. The noise and light concerns at that point are almost entirely mitigated. The drive-through will have a directional speaker that does not point at any residential area. And frankly, I mean, we're talking about Red Oak, where there's another restaurant that directly abuts the subdivision. And this is basically a corner share with the subdivision. It impacts very few homes.
Thank you, sir.
I do have one question.
Yes, Mr. Court.
Sorry, it's about if this does get approved or whatever, I personally would like to see the trash can moved to the other side of that parking lot, closer to the oil change place.
And we made it very clear that we're more than happy to do that. It would take, I think, a slight approval, but if approval here was subject to us moving that trash enclosure and the city was willing to do it, we would absolutely do it. We already have drawings that show that. It would not take any more effort on our part, and we could just sub in that site plan with the trash enclosure relocated.
What's the hours of operation?
So it does not operate for breakfast, so it does not add at all to morning traffic. I think chaining, if you want to pipe in, it does open at roughly 9:30 in the morning. And
yeah.
What time does it close?
It closes at 1 a.m. Our transactions, our lobby closes at 10 p.m. Our transactions after 10 p.m. are through the drive-through, and they comprise, and our vice president of operations is in attendance as well. She'll be able to speak more specifically to the hourly business, but late at night, the majority of the businesses deliver a lot of delivery drivers that are picking up mobile orders after the lobby is closed.
yeah, one thing to note, drive-through operation has drastically changed with food delivery. Now, if you have 28 orders an hour, it may be that one car picks up, 4 at a time and then goes to deliver. And so the
the just constant one car per order is really dead. I think 40-something% of the orders are DoorDash and those kind of services, which cuts down on the amount of the flow in and out. And it doesn't produce anyone, if the concern is that someone would hang out at night, not that they would allow that either way, but nearly everyone coming there after 10 is a DoorDash driver that's in and out.
You mentioned another restaurant. What time is the other restaurant in the area close?
I'm not sure, but they are open in the morning, which does add to morning traffic.
Yeah, we do not serve breakfast, so although we're open at 9 a.m. in the morning, our transactions are next to nothing until you approach the lunch hour.
Mr. Powell, you had a question? I'm sorry. You
Yeah, I'm fine.
I was just asking what restaurant, he was referring to Stat Nutrition as a restaurant.
That's correct. It is a restaurant. I mean, they serve prepared food, and they certainly have significant morning traffic. It's almost entirely morning based rather than that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, of course.
All right, anybody else here speak on behalf of the applicant?
I will. I'm Donna Lavin. I'm the regional vice president for the south part of the United States. I oversee stores in 6 states. I'm based out of Mississippi, as is my director of operations who's with me here today. She actually lives in Madison County. So we have a very vested interest in having a presence here. We're born and raised in Mississippi. We're very big in community involvement. I do want to kind of address a little bit on that traffic because I know that's a major concern for you guys. But with the traffic, we really are a very much digital business now. 40% of our business is coming from DoorDashers. They are picking up multiple orders at a time, cuts down the number of cars. The most cars we ever see per hour is in the noon hour. That's about 30 cars on average any given day of the week. Obviously, a Friday may be a little more than a Sunday, but pretty much 30 cars a day at noon, and then we drop off. Most of our business is before 8 o'clock at night, where we're getting single customers coming in. We're doing right now, about 45% of our business coming out, our DoorDash business, coming out of our Madison and Canton locations on either side of you, are coming to Gluckstadt. We pulled the stats of the residents here ordering food, and it was about 45% are already coming into this area. So that traffic is here.
Thank you, ma'am.
If there are complaints from the neighborhood, would they talk to you, or is it
Yes.
on-site manager, or
They
how's that
can speak
handled?
with me, or they can speak with the director of operations because she's actually here on site. She, like I said, she lives in Madison County, and she runs the 31 stores across central Mississippi.
And seeing out-of-state owners kind of,
Yeah, I know that kind of makes everybody a little nervous because they are out of state, but we're very vested here. I've been with the brand over 30 years, Angela more than 10. The area manager who supervises 5 restaurants is within 30 minutes of this restaurant as well, and she has over 20 years of experience. Our intention would be to put an RGM, a store manager, in that unit who is actually multi-award winning. She's got over 25 years with the brand because we understand your business, we understand what you're trying to do in your community, and we'd like to be a part of that.
All right.
Any other questions for me?
Any other
That
questions?
I can answer for you?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Are you allowed to say like what brands you all represent in this area, in the Madison County area?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
I'm sorry, are you allowed to reveal what brands you represent in the area?
In Mississippi, it's just Taco Bell. But we have 7 brews, European Wax, Buffalo Wild Wings. Our company owns many brands.
Madison?
Here we do own Madison. We own everything across central Mississippi.
And my question might be for you or a lady on the phone, going back, why this lot? Like, cause y'all started on this last summer, correct?
That's right, and Shane can speak to that. This has been a long time search. I mean, we saw it with Take 5 too. They're plain businesses, didn't want to be in Gluckstadt. This is a great lot for this use. There are only so many uses for this lot. And so at the end of the day, this is a very productive use for a lot that might otherwise, remain vacant and would frankly be just a money drain on the developer.
I'm just curious because, I mean, we've had buildings, or like fast food buildings vacant for a very long time.
That's right. And obviously for a lot of these brands, this is a very experienced operator that will come in and run this store, and it will be a grade A
Well, I'm
store.
just curious
And so
how-
they want to build their own. At the end of the day, they want a nice new brick building that looks like the building next to it.
My name is Matthew Smith. I represent Take 5 Oil Change. I own Take 5 Oil Change, and we also own the lot where Taco Bell's going. So we are in support of it. And for us, this really goes back 3 or 4 years ago when we started working with y'all. We first came and we wanted to go on the north side of Gluckstadt Road, east of the Shell. And y'all said, you know, we came and went in front of the board and y'all said, no, man, you're not zoned for that. Go find a lot for your zoning. Well, we did. And we spent millions of dollars doing it, developing our Take 5, bringing sewer. So now from Trust Care all the way to Take 5, we personally paid for that sewer for the city's infrastructure. So now this lot is zoned for Taco Bell. So you ask, why do they want it? They want it because they're zoned for it with utilities already stubbed there. And they fit. And it will generate sales tax for the city, which I've been sitting here, y'all are just looking for additional dollars. So we are in support of it. It does fit and they have met all your requirements.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other questions? All right. Now, you have come here to speak in opposition. I'm assuming you signed this form, so, Mr. Walker, Terry Walker? And look, if I call your name and you don't want to speak, you just let me know, okay? I'm not making you speak. I'm gonna go down the list.
I'll be glad to speak, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm very good at it.
Where do you live, sir?
I live in Red Oak Plantation. My name is Terry Walker. Live in Red Oak Plantation. I am a member of the Homeowners Association. Live at 126 Planters Road and in Red Oak Plantation. And our concerns are very much opposed to what I've just heard. I don't see how you can build a successful restaurant saying that there's not going to be much traffic. There's going to be a lot of traffic. If you're looking for success, there's going to be traffic. Door dashers typically drive cars. And so the lighting, I don't see how you can build a fence tall enough to mitigate the lighting problem with our neighbors. The noise that's going to be generated, you can turn the speaker any way you want to turn it. I don't think it's going to be acceptable for the noise that it's going to generate. The garbage bin is going to attract all kind of no telling what, all kind of stink, just all kind of problems in our neighborhood. You can see houses from that location. You can see them as you drive down the street. So I know if you turn into the driveway, you certainly would be able to see them. And it's not only going to affect those homes, it's going to affect all of our homes. In my opinion, strictly my opinion, based on the fact that I was a real estate broker for 20 years, it's going to decrease home values. I don't see any way that in the time and in my experience I had selling homes that I could sell somebody a home that was practically in a parking lot of a drive-through restaurant that they would even consider buying that home. There may be somebody there, but my personal experience, no, that's not good. The site would tend to lead toward a diminished quality of life for our entire neighborhood, in my opinion. And I've not spoken to one person in our neighborhood that is in favor of this. So I feel like it's an honor for me to be able to come before you tonight with these concerns. And I would respectfully ask that you deny or reject this site plan.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Next, Mr. Dew, Brian Dew.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
May I ask a quick question? I'm sorry.
No, ma'am. Not right now.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Brian Dew. I live on Planters Row in Red Oak Plantation. I've been there for over 25 years. I've watched this whole area grow up. I've seen, a lot of businesses close to the interstate. You've got a good group of businesses that are, they're all similar. You've got Taco Bell now trying to come in right down the street outside of our neighborhood. There's no flow there. You've got 4 fast food restaurants on the other side of the interstate. And I think that'd be a better fit. There's an area over there. There's a big lot in front of Levi's. That's all vacant. I don't know what the plans are for that. It's a great location. You can check all the boxes for this, lot and make it fit. But, you know, I don't want a fast food restaurant in my backyard. I'm 4 lots, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal from your site. I've driven up, before I came here, I drove around the cul-de-sac, parked in the street, and I can see the top of the Take 5 oil change, the roof line. So from their back patio, which I can see from Take 5's parking lot, I can see that backyard. I can see their back door. I can see everything. So when they're outside, they're going to see your restaurant, you know, and because the property sits higher up, the yard slopes off, the lots slope off. A lot of them are built like that. So they're higher up than the store would be. They're going to be able to see down, see all the traffic, all the headlights are going to come in. You know, you can put up a privacy fence, but over time, those fences get gaps in it. The cars drive up the driveway, headlights point up, they go right in the back of that house. So there's 3 houses right there that are going to affect directly, and 3 you can see. So if you're saying you can't see them, you're not looking.
Thank you.
Several other issues I can see. You know, you can move the dumpster 20 feet. Yeah, that's 20 feet. That's from there to there. That's not good enough.
Mr. Dude, that's your 2.5 minutes now.
I appreciate it. I've got a lot more I can say, but
thank you. I knew you did. All right. Ms. Donna Ladner?
Oh, that was my son.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Barnett? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Can you put
Mr. Walker, yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes, and I'll be real brief. I'd like to
Okay, yes.
piggyback with on what Mr. Terry and Mr. Dew said. Live on Planters Row in Red Oak Plantation, been here since '05. I grew up in Madison County, early '80s. I lived in the Wheatley area, just off county line. And that community was very similar to Gluckstadt when we moved there. Had a lot of growth and development like we're seeing here. And to me, I'm all about people making money in a capitalistic America. That's great and everything, but my main thing is a homeowner and just the keeping up the property values here in this area. I mean, it's not a matter of if, but when. Closer fast foods get to real estate and subdivisions, it's only a matter of time. It may be 10 years, maybe 25 years before those property values start to go down. And that's my main concern.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I have I'm sorry, but I cannot read Brett's last name. Is there a Brett here? It looks like Nadalia.
He just walked out, but can I speak on his behalf?
I'm sorry?
He just walked out, but can I speak on his
Of
behalf?
course, your name is?
My name's Allie Coates, and I live at 138 Planters Road.
Yes, ma'am.
And like these gentlemen were saying, I'm against the Taco Bell for their same reasons.
Okay. And you want to get Mr. Brett to come in, or you comfortable you talk for it? Okay. All right. That's fine. Anybody have any questions in response to any of these comments?
What was your first name again? I'm sorry.
Pardon me?
What was your first name again?
Terry.
Mr. Terry. What percentage, how many homes are in the neighborhood exactly?
Oh. About 240.
240. What's the percentage of ownership rental?
We have, I know we've had a growing percentage of rental houses. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm just.
But they have, I know, I found out yesterday, we've had 4 rentals that have sold to owner occupied. So at one point, we'd had about 25 rentals in the neighborhood. That number grew. I couldn't tell you how many. I've never known exactly, but We are growing apparently, in owner occupied houses. I know the one behind me directly, was a rental, and I found out 2 weeks ago that it's now owner occupied.
We attribute that some to the ordinances passed by the city for the rental.
Okay, and forgive me because I am new. Was this property zoned commercial before the city became established? So how long has it been zoned commercial for?
It was zone commercial, through Winter County.
Okay.
Yeah, it has not been changed.
Any other questions? I'm assuming that I got everybody who wanted to speak on Taco Bell. Sorry?
She had a question. She wanted to say something.
Yes, ma'am. Your question?
Yes, I'm sorry, I just wasn't sure how it worked, if we would have an opportunity to address some of the perceived concerns and what we've done to date to address them.
Yes, ma'am. I'll give you 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I believe it was Maya that may have asked the question about why this particular property, and the seller actually answered it quite well. It does come down.
That was Ms. Campbell. But
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
We did spend, as I said, we've taken a year to really do our homework and try to find the right fit for Taco Bell and Gluckstadt. We looked at some of the existing QSR buildings that are empty closer to the I-55, and the asking prices for those were enormous. In addition to that, our franchisor is not a fan of converting other QSR concepts into Taco Bell because it's very costly. In addition to, it just is not a good representation of the Taco Bell brand. So we are held to some standards by our franchisor as well. But over the course of time, I spent a good deal of time with our broker, who is also local to Gluckstadt, going piece by piece to all of the commercially zoned property along Gluckstadt Road that might make a good fit for Taco Bell. We wanted to be on Gluckstadt because, for a variety of reasons, we like to be near the population bases. Each one of the properties along Gluckstadt Road that we called on, the owners were not interested in subdividing the property, and they're quite big parcels, and they wanted a considerable amount of money for them. This was already ready for development, and we were able and made extended effort to meet with the city, both with our seller and ourselves, before we even entered into the sales contract, to understand whether we could meet the commercially zoned by right drive-through use code requirement for this piece of land. And we were able to meet all of them with thoughtful consideration of who both our business neighbors and our residential neighbors. We've taken additional steps at the city's request to address some of the perceived fears of us being there. We did a photometric plan speaking to the lighting that specifically is geared towards ensuring that the lighting from our property does not bleed over into any of the residential neighborhoods. In addition,
Ma'am, I
yeah.
hate to interrupt you, but I've given you 3 minutes now, so why don't you take 15 or 20 seconds and wrap it up, okay?
Okay, sure. The buffer of trees between us and their property is an additional buffer in addition to the steps that we've already taken to address sound, lighting, and hours of operation. I'm happy to provide any information that helps address the perception.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, any questions before I call for motions? All right, at this time before the board is the consideration of a site plan for the Taco Bell on Gluckstadt Road, located at 1021 Gluckstadt Road. So is there a motion to approve the site plan?
I'll make the motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Williams has made a motion to approve the site plan. Is there a second?
Second. But it's going back through,
It needs to be contingent on getting final exterior approval from the art committee.
All right, so as I understand the motion then made by Mr. Williams and seconded by Mr. Taylor is for approval of the site plan contingent upon the ARC board approving the exterior. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Powell, how do you vote?
I vote no.
Mr. Powell, no. Mr. Taylor, yes. Ms. Bates?
No.
Ms. Bates, no. Ms. Campbell? Ms. Campbell, yes. And Mr. Williams, I have you as a yes. Did I record that correctly? My site plan is approved 3-2. Thank you all. All right, at this time, let's go to item 9B.
You're not, no, we're not doing that.
Doing what?
No one's talking to me that way.
What happened?
You said something.
Sir, Mr. Duke, you have something you wanted to say?
I had corresponded through email with Ms. Campbell, and she had indicated to me that she saw our point of view.
That might be
But,
fine, but
apparently she's changed her mind.
we don't
I can respect
disrespect
that.
anybody. I
I
think
apologize.
you're very well respected here, and that's the way we do business.
He
And,
meets the criteria.
So, all right, that's it. You're excused, sir. Thank you. All right, item 9D. Site plan approval for the Martin Group.
All right, so, so this is, Mark Group, Sam Martin, attorney, here in town. He is proposing to build a 2,100 square foot building off of Old Jackson Road over there by Randy Tucker's old house. It's actually called the Gluckstadt Office Park. There's one building now. They're actually building their second building now. As you can see from the site plan, it's a pretty skinny lot, but they went through the due diligence, back in 25 and got a variance for a smaller frontage and a smaller side and rear setback. That variance is attached herein. They went through the architectural and P&Z boards, and both boards approved recommendation to approve this site plan. Scott, if you're going down, that's the layout of it. That's south, that's the Randy Tucker house. Along parallel here is the new building. He's gonna have his own office there, and I think, Sam, is there one more tenant possibly? Or?
yes.
Yeah. And keep going down, Scott, you'll see there's landscape. He's got heavy duty landscaping around it. And then in the back is where we've got there's one existing building, the second one's in process, and then there's a third one coming on down the road. We'll come on down so they can see the elevations of it. One more. And this, the building looks just like what's being built on site in the back there. Like I said, the architectural look to it, and like the look of it, and P&Z approved as well.
All right. Any questions at all about the Martin Group site plan? Is there a motion then for approval of the Martin Group site plan?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Taylor made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Martin, you know today is Be Kind the Lawyer Day?
I'm not selling tacos.
All right. All right. Item number 9E, consideration of the Hederman Brothers site plan.
Okay, you might remember last meeting, so Hedron Brothers is redoing their site plan approval. They had some change in teams. They actually got the approval last year, but due to some team changes in architects, we talked with them, decided to submit a whole new plan. It's the exact same build. And what they're planning on doing is building a 20,000 square foot additional warehouse in between their existing building and Pine Lake Church. Come on down, Scott. You can see a little bit more of it. And they've taken account all the parking, all the setbacks, all the landscaping. We did present this to the Architectural Review Board and the P and Z Board, and they both has voted to approve the site plan.
All right, any question about Hederman Brothers site plan? Their motion then to approve their site plan.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Taylor, second. Second. Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to conditional use for Quiet Waters.
This is kind of another redo as well. You might remember back in 23, the Joni House, the respite facility. They had some restructuring as well and kind of surpassed our time for the conditional use that was granted back then. They've restructured as well, and Quiet Waters, who's locally over there by Lake Caroline. Joni House is no longer involved, but Quiet Waters has taken on this really, really good mission. Scott, if you can get on down to the conceptual. And what they're wanting to do is reissue this conditional use. It actually probably covers 3 different zones, A1, C2, and R1, I believe. And with the quasi-public, conditional use is required, and they could use it in all three areas. And somebody's here to speak to it, but it's a really, really neat deal. It's a respite facility to give relief to parents to drop off kids with special needs. And that's it. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hey, we've got the subject matter expert here, Marty Quasney.
I'd love for you to come speak. Yes.
Thanks, Kate. Appreciate it. And thank you, Alderman Taylor, for recognizing us lawyers. Not even my wife did that this morning, so appreciate the recognition. Now, my name is Matt Batard. I'm the real estate attorney for Quiet Waters. I'm with the Regents Batard law firm in Ridgeland. This is our executive director of Quiet Waters, Marty Quasney. I didn't know what respite was until I looked it up in the dictionary, but she is the subject matter on what respite is. And so I'm going to let you kind of let her refresh your memory of what that is.
So what we're trying to do is build a respite center. We have 3.6 million touched by disability in a 6-hour driving radius. Once this opens up, it will give respite to the caregivers 24/7, 52 weeks out of the year. These are children and adults. It's not just children. These are also siblings of the family. If a family is having struggles with a marriage, they can take off for the weekend and bring their kids here. It will also give relief to our hospitals. We have several in the hospitals that are taking room, and there's really no reason medically for them to take room, but there's not a place for these individuals. So it will provide respite, and our focus will be primarily on the caregiver, giving them respite, but in the meantime, it's activities for our families and kids.
All right, any particular questions?
I have a question, and this does not pertain to the site plan. Are y'all gonna keep the same location as the North County?
Yes. No. Where we are now?
Where you are now?
No, we're hoping to get off of that quickly so we can move here.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
You don't still have like summer camp?
And we actually just sold that campus to buy Bishop Duncan Race Center, and all the retreats will be out there. So that is what's a change.
That's right, but they still have at least the
Yes.
people, the individuals who purchased that
Until we build.
property on Catlett were gracious to allow them a lease to facilitate the transition to this property.
We
And
want to
then
get on that as soon as possible.
we've actually reduce some of the use of this property from our original plan. We had some cabins on y'all approved this, by the way, in 2023, and due to the passage of time, we're having to come back. Under the ordinances, there's no specific procedure that allows for a simple renewal, so we're having to come back through the whole process. But we took off the cabins that were originally on there because, as Marty mentioned, we just closed on the purchase of the Episcopal Diocese, their old camp, the Gray Center, northeast of here, and that's going to serve the function the retreats. So that's going to be on that property. So.
All right, any additional questions? All right, is there a motion to approve their conditional use request?
Motion.
Ms. Bates made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay. All right, our next one's rezoning. This is a unique situation. Scott, if you don't mind going down to see some of the zoning areas. This is over here on 158 American Way. UCR Properties owns this and has updated the building. I know John and some of the people are familiar with this building, but for some reason, this property got split with the zoning on adoption. Half of it's C2 and bottom half of it's I2. The UCR Properties are requesting to have it zoned entirely I2, mainly due to the fact it's a big warehouse, the power set up for an industrial type facility, and it's a big piece of property. We did all the proper public notifications. They sent out letters to all the property owners, and we did go in front of the P&Z. The P&Z did deny its recommendation based on the city comprehensive plan showing this area to be commercial. And I've done some more research on it after the fact. Our comprehensive plan, the existing adopted plan, does show that all to be industrial and then proposed in the future to be commercial. And I believe Warren, are you here? Oh, sorry, Mackay's here. But also in our zoning, it does allow for industrial being next to residential as long as there's a 100-foot buffer, and they've got plenty of room for that on their west side there. Mackay, if you want.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I have the same thing, but if anybody's got questions specific about it, I think I've tried to call everybody and talk through it. But
any questions?
You have someone in particular you're thinking about, or anything you can say? Or?
Well, we have a you know, I'd call them a process.
Not heavy industrial, but just.
No. It'd be, you know, similar to like buckets used where they would just have some outdoor storage of sorts.
I was just going to add, Mayor, that, you know, we sometimes talk about the modified Maryland rule. Y'all have heard us talk about this before, where there's a change in zoning. You have to make a factual finding either that there is a change in character of the neighborhood and a public need, or the lesser known or lesser, it's not as common situation of a mistake in the zoning. And so this potentially, I think, could constitute mistake based on the petitioner's request. So if y'all do grant the rezoning, you'd be making a finding, I assume, that there would be a mistake.
So all the purple is C2?
Yeah, go to the next one, you see the greater area, Scott. Everything south of it, besides that little black, is I2, all the way down to Majestic Metals. And you can kind of see how odd this area is. It might be something we need to remedy in the future, but you've got an R1 right there in the middle of all this, you know, so.
Crazy.
Got a horse dog.
There's actually a corner with an industrial size
Yeah.
lemonade stand that we're gonna have to look out for.
There's a little bitty corner that's kind of adopted by the I2 right there too, so.
All right, any other questions at all about this, this rezoning request? All right, so
We're wanting to go I2.
Fully I2 is what they're requesting.
the request is to go from C2 to I2.
Yeah, no, I am sorry. I might add one more thing before we make motions and things, because I don't want to get in the way. With respect to the comprehensive plan, as y'all know, you adopted the county's comprehensive plan 5 years ago, and, you know, converted it to city use by modifying it. But you also have a consultant who's in the process of drafting you another comprehensive plan that you're going to adopt. And I presume, you know, the two can conform together, because you do want to have zoning that is in conformity with the comprehensive plan. Excuse me, Mayor.
All right, there's a request to consider rezoning this property from C2 to fully I2.
Motion to rezone.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second. Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Dearman, item 9H.
All right. All right, so this is a leaseholder has purchased a 40-acre parcel Scott, if you mind going on down to some drawings here and see where we are. This is up here on Stout Road or northernmost part. There you go. And he is requesting a rezoning of the northwest corner of this property, 10 acres, to C1A. And what we got going on here is everything to its west is commercial. This is right now it's zoned at A1. That's a big old ag field. And what Lee is wanting to do is rezone to C1A and build a baseball training facility there. We don't know yet what he's wanting to do with the rest of the property, but he wants to focus on this. And when he came to us, we also looked at the code to see what zone would allow indoor, outdoor sporting. And that is C1A, which is actually our most restricted commercial district. He's gone through the P&Z, and the P&Z did recommend the approval of this. We've notified all the people around there, as well as put signs out on publication as well. So, Lee, I don't know if you got anything to add for the rezoning, but
Is this a private training?
correct, the 10 acres is correct. Yeah.
All right. Any particular questions about the rezoning here request? All right, is there a motion then to approve the rezoning request?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Campbell seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right.
Great. And so with that, with the C1A, it does require for indoor, outdoor training, baseball, soccer, sports facilities, a conditional use. Scott, if you go back down so they can see a little bit more of the actual site plan, what he's planning on doing. We can start there. So he has gone through the ARC, and he's been working with the ARC Commission there. Yeah, absolutely. Pass that around. We had a couple renditions of the exteriors, but the ARC Commission finally settled on this. But in terms of conditional use, the P&Z also approved recommendation for this. They did have two requests, is that we worked out the exterior, and the P&Z wanted the dumpster relocated. Going down a little bit. And so this is the final product of the ARC Commission, right, in terms of this brick and this finish. Go back, come on, keep coming down so you can see. All right, that'll work. If you want to zoom in, it's kind of way off, but anyway, he's got plenty of parking. I think we required 51, and he's got close to 73 parking spots. He takes care of retention. We end up moving the dumpster over to the far west side, and again, the whole Stout Road side is completely treed, blocking views to the north, and the whole west side is completely treed as well. So he's going to be really tucked away there, and knowingly, I think he's going to have some good options for the rest of the land in the future too. But this is something the city doesn't have at this moment, and I don't know. It depends on the elevation at that point. Do you think you'd be able to see it? I doubt it.
It's kind of cornered back behind that apartment complex.
Yeah, the apartment complex is down here to the southeast over here. Yeah.
All right, before you guys is a request for conditional use for this particular piece of property. Is there a motion to grant the conditional use?
Motion.
That's Ms. Campbell. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Williams seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, let's go to the site plan. Item 9J.
And again, we just talked a lot about that. Like I said, he's gone above and beyond on landscaping. I got plenty of parking spots. We got a retention pond up front. And the architectural and P&Z has approved the site plan, and we would look forward to getting some building drawings. In the field out there.
Is there a motion then to adopt or yes, approve the site plan?
Motion.
Ms. Campbell made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I'm sorry, Ms. Bates made the motion. Ms. Campbell seconded. I'm sorry. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Item 9K.
I'm gonna be brief on this because somebody better than me can explain this. This is a very unique situation. Brands owns two parcels over there on the west side of Catlett Road. approximately about 18 acres, and they successfully rezoned those two parcels in the county a few months before we incorporated. They provided all the documentation, and all my research that I found is it went through Board of Supervisors, got appealed, then it went to circuit court, and every one of them got upheld. So it's these two parcels, not the long parcel at our border. It's the two right below it. We did go through P&Z. We went through, not ARB, just P&Z. We made all the right publications, and Rand's also notified all the local landowners there as well. P&Z did recommend approval of this as well. Rich, would you like to speak?
Rick Eisenberger, Burwell Eisenberger, on behalf of Rand's LLC. First, I want to say I really appreciate y'all's time. I know this is taking out of your personal time to be here at past 8:30. So I have a lot of history, but I'm going to go through it as quickly as possible just to respect y'all's time and hopefully get y'all out of here. But again, I represent the applicant, which is Rand's LLC. Rand's owns approximately 17.58 acres, which is more accurately described in our application. And we are requesting that this board rezone these parcels from R1 to R2. March 24th, a public hearing was held on that application before the Gluckstadt P&Z. That was unanimously approved at that time. The official zoning map for City of Gluckstadt is showing this property as R1. Mr. Scanlon made a really good point. The state is very rare, and I've only dealt with it twice in 12 years of practicing law, but this is exactly what we have here today. And it's also important to keep in mind that because we're here over a mistake, a clerical or administrative mistake, we don't need to spend any time on character of the neighborhood or changing the character or public need. That's not required. We're just here to show that there's a clerical error that has occurred that justifies the rezoning back to what this property has been previously approved to be rezoned to, and that's R2. So we're asking that this board consider all the evidence we present tonight to come to the logical conclusion that these two parcels should be rezoned to R2 from R1. For that reason, the procedural history is important. First, while the City of Gluckstadt was incorporated in June of 2021, it didn't adopt a comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance until December 16 of 2021. So prior to the city's incorporation and prior to this property being incorporated within the city, the two parcels we're discussing tonight were actually rezoned to R2 classification. So a little over 6 years ago, April 1, 2020, Rand's filed an application for rezoning with the Madison County P&Z. At that time, the property was zoned R1 residential estate, and Rand's requested a R2 medium density residential district rezoning. So on June 11th, 2020, P&Z unanimously approved our request to rezone the subject property from R1 to R2. And then the meeting minutes confirming as much were attached to our application as Exhibit 1. On August 17th of 2020, Rand's appeared before the Madison County Board of Supervisors for a public hearing to support its request to rezone the property from R1 to R2. After closing that public hearing and after considering all the evidence presented, the Madison County Board of Supervisors approved and granted Rand's request to rezone the property R1 residential estate district to R2 medium density by a majority vote of 4-1. A copy of those minutes were attached to the application as Exhibit 2. On August 27 of 2020, Mimi Spire, who is a homeowner close to the property, appealed that decision of the board to the Madison County Circuit Court. And on September 16, 2021, Judge Ratcliffe entered his order affirming the decision of the Board of Supervisors of Madison County, Mississippi, which is document number 28, which affirmed the decision of the Madison County Board of Supervisors rezoning the property from an R1 residential estate district to an R2 medium density residential estate district. That order was attached to the application as Exhibit 3. Notably, during that entire rezoning application process and the entire appeal process, Rand's was actually still under contract to buy this property. The successful rezoning of the property from R1 to R2 was a condition precedent in that contract to my client's purchase of the property. So once that was done, Rand's purchased the property December 8th,
2021. 8 days later, and 3 months after the property had already been rezoned to R2, Gluckstadt's ordinance establishing comprehensive zoning regulations and associated zoning map for the city of Gluckstadt was adopted. The ordinance states that at the time of Gluckstadt's incorporation, Madison County, Mississippi had in place and adopted comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance which applied to the area which was incorporated into the city. It goes on to say that the comprehensive plan for Madison County had been adopted with certain amendments by the city of Gluckstadt, and said plan serves as the basis for zoning in accordance with Mississippi Code annotated section 17.9. And the Planning Commission for Gluckstadt has reviewed the zoning ordinance of Madison County together with certain proposed amendments thereto, and has recommended the adoption of the ordinance with certain proposed amendments. The only two amendments to the Madison County ordinance as it was adopted into the city of Gluckstadt were 2 lots which were rezoned commercial. So in other words, it was the city of Gluckstadt's intention to adopt the existing Madison County zoning classifications when it pulled that property into the city of Gluckstadt. And at that time, these 2 parcels we're here talking about tonight were already successfully rezoned R2. Ordinance number 2021-4 makes no mention of any other amendments. So at the time the city was incorporated and brought this property over into the city of Gluckstadt, it brought this property over with the R2 zoning already intact. However, due to what is an obvious clerical error, administrative error, Madison County never made a marginal notation on their zoning map. So for instance, in a successful rezoning matter, you'll make a notation on that zoning map marking the change in zoning. That never made it on the Madison County zoning map when the property was brought into Gluckstadt. So the map was still showing this property zone R1, when in reality, we spent multiple years making sure that this property was rezoned to an R2 classification. And for that reason, we are requesting that this board correct that clear error and rezone this property to its proper and official zoning classification when it was incorporated into the city, which is R2 medium density residential district. And Mr. Scanlon also said correctly and well that Mississippi law is well settled. 2 ways to rezone real property. The first prong is mistake in the original zoning. The second is that the character has changed in the neighborhood to justify the rezoning, and that there's a public need. We need not address the change of character or the public need. We can stop at the first prong mistake, which that's what we have. It's a clerical or administrative error, which has resulted in an incorrect zoning classification on these 2 parcels when they were incorporated into the city of Gluckstadt.
Mr. Aldermen, I think you've stated your case. Thank you, sir.
I try to get through that history as fast as possible, so I apologize for the quick talk.
Any questions of Mr. Eisenberger?
So I know a year or 2 ago, we had some folks come before us. Is this that same parcel or adjacent parcel or?
This has not come before this board, no, sir.
I
It
was
was-
thinking that was that.
it was that strip
Right beside.
just above it.
above
It was a
that.
strip just
above.
Yeah, and to be clear, the original Madison County zoning actions only concern these 2 parcels. That's the only thing I'm here to discuss today. That is all I'm trying to do today.
So
All right, any other questions?
Yes,
it's been zoned this way since the city was established.
Yes,
Correct.
it was done this way before the city adopted its comprehensive plan and zoning map.
County zoning, the city
Oh, I'm sorry.
undertook ab initio zoning. You know, we call it rezoning typically, but it was the first time. So it's ab initio zoning in December of 2021. And, you know, you can, I guess, technically zone it whatever you want, you know, in theory, but, you know, it's going to match the uses that are on the ground. You're not going to go call it industrial inside the middle of it.
Well, I'm
So-
just curious, it's been this way for, I'm not saying it's
What
not
do you
there.
mean this way?
Well, it's been zoned
R1.
R1. You want it done R2.
That's right.
You've been a city for 4 years. How come you have on now? Why now?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure, and my client can speak to that. He's here. Scott Shoemaker is here. I'm not sure anybody was aware. We thought this was done. P&Z approved it. The Board of Supervisors approved it. We successfully fought an appeal that was filed in circuit court, and we thought this was over with. And then,
and of course, Mr. Shoemaker can speak to when he knew or found out that Gluckstadt was showing this property as R1, but I was not aware of this until 4 months ago when I reached out to Mr. Scanlon, Mr. Giddy, to try to work out a way that we could fix this without actually having to go through another public hearing. So we're here.
Any other questions?
So what, I just don't get I guess someone to do, but, when we went through this before, with the R1 stuff, we want more neighborhoods like Twin Cedars, like Germantown, bigger neighborhoods, a little bit bigger lots and stuff. So, why can we not do that?
My client is here and he can speak to that directly, but cost is a large factor.
Well, we're trying to raise the values of homes and the standard of living out here, and so it seems like to me you want to get those people in. You got Amazon, all these places coming. So I don't know. So what is your proposal?
Mr. Shoemaker, you want to speak to answer Alderman Powell's questions?
And respectfully, the cost of homes with the way construction costs are now and material costs are exceedingly high as it is.
You want to add to that at all? Give you the opportunity if you want to speak.
I am here at your pleasure.
Yeah, well, why don't you come up and answer our final question?
So what is your proposal for the homes as far as like the size lots and the size of the homes on the lots?
I'm sorry.
What is your proposal for the size lots and the homes on the lots? Like 2,500 square foot, 1,500 square foot?
At this point in time, I'm not prepared to finalize that. Would look forward to the opportunity to work with the city on that once this is rezoned.
They'll have to come back.
You don't have any plans for that third section?
It's low. Not interested in doing any of it. And plus, the power line goes through it.
Yeah.
But no, not interested. No.
All right, any other questions? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all's time, truly.
So we're just fixing a mistake.
If you adopt the ordinance, the draft ordinance that we put before you, we've got the resolution that would deny it if you were to vote to deny it, and we have an ordinance that would grant it if you vote to grant it. And the ordinance contains a factual finding that it is a mistake. Based on the presentation, you've got the legislative authority to make that determination. If you want to rezone it on the basis that there's a change in character of the neighborhood and a public need, that's fine too, but we just need to draft an ordinance that says that. But the petitioner is asking for you to find it's a mistake, and that's the evidence that they're putting before you. So if you do approve the request, that would be the finding made within the ordinance.
So it was R1, the county approved it big R2, but then we incorporated, we moved it to R1.
That's right.
So we technically made a clerical error and just put a 1 instead of a 2.
No, the county did.
The county did.
County did. So when we
We
rezoned,
moved it from R2 to R1, but it's technically R2.
Right. As an alderman, when I voted to adopt that, I voted to adopt that as R1. Because that was what it's
So we
supposed to
changed
be.
it from R2 to R1.
they're saying we did not pick up their rezoning. So when we rezone something, we don't redo the entire colored map. We note it on here. And so like every 5 years or so, we should update our actual coloring of the map. But what they're stating is that whether the county or us, all their amendments to their zoning, we did not pick up the change from R1 to R2. And more likely their map was still yellow as R1. But this might have noted the change to R2 and we did not pick that up.
Well, I just want to say, I don't think it was the city's fault on that. From what he presented, what I heard was the county didn't do it and get it turned over. Am I incorrect on that?
Say that
Did you not state that the county, didn't get the stuff turned over or turned in to where it's?
Well, the county just didn't make a marginal notation on their zoning map.
So then when we adopted, then we went off of what it was showing, which is R1.
It was your intention in your comprehensive plan to adopt, and correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, Madison County's current zoning classifications, but for 2 amendments. All of that was public record. All of that was within the county's documents that would have been available to the city of Gluckstadt at the time it was adopting its comprehensive plan.
All right, before the board is a request to rezone this parcel from R1 to R2. And there are papers, both a resolution denying it, and also we have documentation to approve it. So is there a motion with regard to their rezoning request?
So I'll make a motion, as much as I hate to say it, because I don't think everything's changed, but I do think that we did make a clerical error on it, so we'll make a motion that we change it from the R1 to the R2. So
All right,
fix that error.
Mr. Powell made a motion then to approve their rezoning. And Mr. Taylor, did you second?
I did.
Mr. Taylor seconded. Mr. Powell made the motion, Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, I recorded that as a 5-0 approving the rezoning. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to, request if we can table this matter. I talked with Chad Phillips a little bit ago. He would like to get his site plan approved. I put the cart before the horse on this one. I apologize.
Okay.
He'd like to get his site plan approved before he makes a legal change.
All right, we'll table 10A. Thank you, Mr. Buckner. Chief Hale, general update, item 11.
Good evening. My update is we wrote 412 tickets since last board meeting. We've had 18 arrests, 10 misdemeanors, 6 felonies, and 2 DUIs. We worked 18 accidents. That's our normal 20 to 30 something. No updates on the building. I think everything's okay on that. We have upcoming training. Just Chief Slavin, Lieutenant Tucker, and Lieutenant Popper are going to what we call, it's called FBI LEADER, Command Leadership Institute training in Jackson for 5 days. The events we have coming up, we have the Buckstaff Maverick Stampede, which is April the 25th, 2026. If y'all aren't familiar with that, that is a 5K run, walk, and color run. It'll be held at Buckstaff Middle School. They will have music, food trucks. The run and the run will actually go, come out of the school, go up Calhoun Parkway to Stout, and turn around and come back to the school. So we will be helping them out with that, even though some of it is in Canton. We're not gonna leave them hanging, so we will have officers out there to help them with that. We also have Friday, May the 1st is our stat scramble. If y'all aren't familiar with that, our golf tournament we have at Lake Caroline. Miss Elizabeth is gone already, but I wanted to thank her. They put a lot into that, and we've gotten a lot of good things with that. So yeah, that's coming up Friday, the May 1st. So unfortunately, all the teams have already been there's no more slots. So we have 26 teams playing in it, which is good. But we will be having a silent auction and all that, and they'll even have it online. So that's a big part of what they're helping us get stuff for our vehicles last year, dogs, and workout equipment for our gym. So some good arrests. My guys have been out doing their thing. Of course, they're always out there. We had a Cornelius Coleman, actually the Wendy's, if y'all didn't see. The Wendy's got armed robbed in Jackson. Then he came out, robbed another subject, talking to his wife, and then carjacked his wife. And decided he was going to come into Madison County, which was a bad idea. So we got behind him, a brief pursuit. We called him up near Nissan. We charged him with a felony fleeing, possession of a stolen firearm, and felon in possession of a firearm. We recovered the money, and like I said, her vehicle. Nobody was injured in the pursuit. Everybody was okay. He will also be charged in Capitals District with armed robbery of a business, armed robbery of an individual, and carjack. So he's looking at a lot of time. We also got a James Brown. Last night was felon in possession of a firearm, trafficking while in possession of a firearm, seatbelt, tent violation, and tampering with evidence. We got to the jail and they found that he had put some evidence in places that, so I'll just leave it at that. He tried to flush it, so we charged him with that too. We had a Dabrowski Russian that Officer Montgomery stopped. Possession of a stolen firearm, felon in possession of a firearm, open container, improper equipment, no insurance, and suspended jail. And we also had somebody tried to, or attempted to shop, or they actually did shoplift at, Guns and Gear. 3 of them, a juvenile and 2 males. We were on it right when we got a call from Hunter, and we were able to catch all 3. They were charged with, Mitchell Robinson was charged with shoplifting, conspiracy, possession of a stolen firearm. He was actually in there stealing bullets to put in a stolen firearm. Warrant, he had a warrant also with us for possession of a stolen firearm, so. The juvenile, which I can't name, he was charged with conspiracy, and Mr. Lamarcus Pate was charged with conspiracy to commit shoplifting, so. That's my update for that. Like I said, our guys are out there working their butts off, doing their thing, keeping the city safe. So, any questions on that?
Any questions from Mr. Chief Hale about the general update? All right, item 11B, you want to update flock contract.
Yes, sir. We found out through some recent investigations that we had unfortunately, I guess, an open or a lack of, where we have 2 cameras that we bought. There's 3 lanes right there. And those cameras that we have now are only, they only do 2 lanes. So we've been having issues with some of our investigations. And we got with Flock and found out we could go with 3-lane cameras is what we really need in those 2 spots. So reason why we have 2 contracts here is because one was bought under the first 5 we got, and then one was bought under the next 12. So in order to make that work out, we had to do 2 different contracts. But to get those, just to upgrade those, it'll be $4,500 each year for the rest of the contract.
All right, any questions of Chief Hale about these new flock contracts? All right, is there a motion then to approve the amendment of these 2 contracts?
And we have it in our budget.
Mr. Taylor made the motion, Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, item 11C.
Yes, this one we're excited about. All the departments in Madison County have it. It's gonna help us work with, the DA's office. I'm sure Stephanie can tell you about it too. It'll be helping her out a lot too. We'll be able to share evidence with the, the DA, Madison County District Attorney, like our videos and our reports, which will actually help us out a lot on spending money on dump drive if we have to put our camera surveillance on. So, and we spend a lot of money on that each year. So, like I said earlier, District Attorney Bubba Bramlett has paid the first year for us, which is $10,200, and in 5 years it'll be $51,000. So we're asking to get that. It'll help us graciously with our operations and investigations. So.
Any questions of Chief Hale about this Motorola contract?
The contract is for 5 years or it's just on?
Yes, ma'am, 5 years. So it'll be $10,200 for the next 4 years, which we didn't have to pay for the first year. So it'll be put in our budget going forward after that.
All right. Is there then a motion to approve this contract?
Make the motion.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, all public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All public comment has been accounted for on the sign-up sheet. At this time, we need to enter into closed session to determine the need for executive session. Is there a motion? I tell you what, we're gonna take a break, a 5-minute break, and then we will take a motion to go into closed session. Take a 5 minutes. I will.